Yesterday was like, okay, can I ask a really stupid question? 52 years old. I've never thought about this until this exact moment. Do girls' voices crack when they go through puberty?
No, not really.
Okay, how do you think
so?
But I had my
they don't crack, okay?
Okay.
I had my face in a humidifier all day yesterday after work, so I think that did some help.
You sound much better because the last couple of days you sounded like me when I was 12. Then you sounded it would crack and it would go up. So you sound much better. Slee, I like that you painted your background in memory of the in-season tournament. That's got a very in-season tournament feel to it. It's very cool.
Changed everything. Basically, for those who don't know, I'm down in San Diego today. So I brought the trophy down here. The in-season tournament was it was a big deal. Every time I walk into crypto, that's the first thing I look up at. I look up at it, I do the sign of the cross, and then I get ready for the pregame show.
It's just got the LAFC color palette, and it just when you came onto the Zoom and I looked at it, I'm like, oh, Slee's got a little in-season tournament court background thing going on. Looks
it's the actual court.
And your head is perfectly centered between the two. You're on a black background with your skull, and then on both sides you have the gold bars.
Got the gold bars. It's actually just all it is. Soundboards. Wood soundboards back there and then black soundboards. But you're right. It's got a little bit of that theme.
It looks good. Where in your banner, I'm assuming, is like directly in front of your eye line so you can see it at all times?
I got it tattooed. You were telling the story about your tattoo. Was that a couple weeks ago or so? Maybe a week ago or so. Yeah, so I'm kind of the same way.
What did you get?
I got the in-season tournament banner. The same one. It's actually the same guy that designed it. Also did this for me. It's special.
It looks good. It looks good.
Man. Thank you.
Emily, are you feeling better?
Yeah, I'm feeling better. I had probably my best night's sleep, but I also was on a million different drugs to help that best night's sleep happen.
You're on the Ireland?
Yeah, a bit of the Ireland, a bit of here and there.
She got it from the Ireland.
But yes, I slept like a baby. But we are having this issue in my house right now where our smoke alarms are not like just like going off, it's like, replace it.
Yeah.
It just will like do two beeps loudly and then go away for like hours. But it's not even that. It's like, it's almost like it fully wants to do an alarm. And this is at like 3 a.m. in the morning.
Oh, of course. They never go off at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. That would be too easy to fix. At 3 o'clock in the morning, you're like, I think I can sleep through it. You can never sleep through it.
But it's only one, too. So it's not like, when you need to replace your smoke detector that it keeps on going until you replace it.
Right.
It's just once.
Well, you need to replace it because it's going to keep doing it. Did it just start doing it last night?
No, it's been going on. It's not every single day.
It started in 2022.
It's like every so often for like 2 months. And so it's just like one
And you're
alarm.
still just dealing with it?
Because it's not going off over and over again. We don't know which one it is.
Oh.
So, and there's like a billion in our house. And so we just kind of been like, I guess we'll get woken up every so often.
I would be freaking out. I would replace them all
it's
instantly
also
the very
not
next
my
day.
problem. I've come to this point where like, I don't know, like I do a lot of things for the house and some things I'm like, it's not my problem.
Yeah, but if it's like, dishes or something like that, I get it. But the smoke alarm, isn't that everybody's problem? Smoke
alarm and no one else is solving it.
You got to just get in there and do it. That's so funny you said Wednesday. Was it Wednesday? Yeah, 2 days ago. Just out of nowhere, smoke alarm just starts beeping. So got the batteries, replace both of them, like you said, Trav. You got to replace both. If you're going to do it, then you just got to do it.
Once one goes, however many are in your apartment, your house, or whatever, you got to do them all because they're all kind of on the same cycle. Maybe one's a month or two ahead or behind of the other, but once one starts doing that terrible sound that Jorge's playing, and it's like it's already embedded in my head.
And it's it. It's over.
You have to do it because it's going to go off at 3. I like that we've all got to the point that when it goes off, we just assume it's a false alarm. Like nobody ever says, "Uh-oh, house might be on fire. Should probably get out of here. It's 3 o'clock in the morning." You wake up, you're like, who's going to change that battery?
How many years have you been at 710?
That's what I'm saying. Here we all go, "Oh yeah, look, it's going off again." Yeah, nobody leaves.
When we were on the sales side, or when I was on the sales side, I think 88% of the office stayed in the back there. I'm like, all right, yeah, you know what? We'll just get a couple more calls in before we call today. We'll send a couple emails. I'm with you, Trav. The smoke alarm does nothing. It does nothing for anybody.
Well, it certainly doesn't make you head for the exit.
No.
Well, that one's a different one. That sound is you replace your battery. It sounds different than if it goes off because there's smoke in your house.
Okay, but when it does go off, like not the, hey, it's time to replace the battery sound. Is your first assumption in your house like that there's a fire?
My first assumption is that my roommate was cooking something and smoke got into it. That's the first assumption. And then I go downstairs to investigate, and then if not, then I go.
I just turned the TV louder.
Your roommates aren't cooking at 3:00 in the morning.
No. But like the first instinct would be something to having to do with cooking. Yeah. They're usually not, but maybe they come back home from a late night. And
you have good roommates now. When your first run, was it your first 2 groups of roommates, or you're just one?
My first group of roommates. The one that I lived with in Highland Park was not great, and now I have a good group of roommates, and we kind of do our own schedules and stuff. And living with 3 people, you're gonna get there's gonna be annoyances.
What are the levels of frustration? Are they all equal, or is there one that bothers you more than the rest?
They're pretty much all equal.
Who do you hate the most? Rank them by name and social security number.
If I'm going to rank who I hate the most, it's the cat. It's the freaking cat. I do not like this cat at all. This cat. Okay. This cat will meow at the top of its freaking lungs every time my roommate leaves the house. And so you can leave her house at 5 a.m. because she works in production. And so sometimes she has to be on set really early. And she could leave the house at 5 a.m. And so this cat, not even that meow, it's a scream meow until the cat wears itself out. So
So you have to get up, feed it, let it out? What do you have to do? I don't do crap.
I sit in my room and let it happen.
So you just let it screech?
Yes. Because
she's letting the smoke alarm go off. So she's going to let this go off.
Because I'm allergic to cats. I'm allergic to cats.
I'm not looking to help the cat. That's not my goal. My goal is to get the cat to shut up so my life is easier.
What would happen would be I'd have to open my door. And I'm not opening the door because I'm allergic to cats, and the cat stays out of my room. And so the cat meows, and then, I've occasionally been like, I want to be a nice person today. I'm going to go pet this cat. I'm going to have a good time with this cat. I pet the cat. Cat bites me.
Doesn't your head, blow up with the allergens?
Somewhat. I mean, it's gotten more used to it over time. Like, you kind of get adjust to the allergy. And so sometimes I'll, pet the cat, and then the cat bites me. And I'm like, okay, well, that's your fault then.
I tried.
The cat just likes to be around
literally
people.
Bite you?
Like play bite though. It's not like it breaks skin, but the cat just likes to be around people.
She's gone to the doctor a couple times.
That cat would bite me exactly once. That's how many times that cat would bite me, and that cat would go as quickly as it can the other direction every time it saw me after that. You need to assert your dominance over that cat.
I have, and the cat learns.
That cat would start hunting, Trav. You wouldn't even see that cat anymore.
But the cat likes to be in the room when we're watching TV in the living room or something, and it doesn't like to be touched. It just likes to be around people, which is okay.
I am a little distracted today, guys. I'm just going to throw that out there to you, just so you know. So in the interest of full disclosure, today is, what did we determine? 29?
29 years.
The 29th anniversary of the beginning of the O.J. Simpson trial that happened here. It's remarkable to me that that's been 29 years. This is how old I am, Emily. This is something that you can use against me. I was working in my professional life. I was working in the radio business when that trial started and everything else. So it is maybe not when it started. When it ended, I certainly was, because I remember where I was for the verdict. But I have a lot of OJ stories. Emily, I think you said it the best this morning. We were talking about it. Sliwa, was after we'd ended our call, and I was trying to think of the person who, if a similar set of circumstances arose where a very famous person that was universally liked, that was ubiquitous in our life, that was on TV all the time, that was always a part of what it is that we were doing, all of a sudden was accused of this unbelievably heinous crime, and I couldn't put my finger on it. Emily nailed it. It would be like if Charles Barkley were accused of something like that. He's on every commercial. Everybody likes him. He's funny. He's a former great athlete. Very few people have a negative association with Charles Barkley. That was OJ then.
OJ was that loved?
More, as much, if not more, because there were so few. There were so many fewer people in our universe, right? There was only
the monoculture was more.
The monoculture was kind of one of the last big events of the monoculture, that you couldn't curate your little niche events here, that it was everywhere. OJ was arguably maybe not bigger than Barkley, but certainly loved in a way like Barkley is in movies, on TV, was a man about to show up at golf tournaments and everybody loved him. It was impossible to explain to somebody that doesn't, in that moment, how popular O.J. Simpson was. Now he's a joke. He's all the things you think of when you think of O.J. But then he was Barkley.
Yeah, he was amazing. But hey, Slee, how you doing there? But
What's up, Bert?
What's going on? This was an incredible time in our lives. So I was at about 10 years old when this is going on, and I was in elementary school. We actually had our teacher. You remember when the TVs were on the little rolling?
Same thing,
thing?
Bert.
Oh,
Bert,
yeah.
we had the same thing in middle school. You're right.
Yeah, and she actually pulled it out, and we all had to sit there and watch this trial because it was so amazing and everything that was going on. By the way, as Travis is saying, he was the most. He was huge. Everything you saw, when you saw OJ, it was like, hey, look, it's OJ. Hey, OJ.
And OJ would stop and he'd tell you a story and he'd sign autographs.
nicest
and
guy
he was
in the world.
Incredibly accessible. That everybody, he's in the Naked Gun. Oh, it's good. It's the juice. It was awesome. And then it's like
Monday Night Football.
And when and then when it happens, like, no, not OJ. And then we got started.
But that puts
it
in a different perspective. When you give an actual comp like that, when you say, hey, think about how loved and how popular Charles Barkley. I don't remember OJ and any of the other stuff just because I was too young. But the OJ the only OJ I really know is the OJ that we know today, right? So when you give a comp like that, that throws me back a lot.
And speaking of that, wheel the TV into the classroom, and you're like, yes, this is awesome. But what happened when I was in high school was we did that for the Kate Middleton royal wedding. I was in history class, so I was
different.
I was actually in world history class, and my
that makes sense.
my teacher was like, hey, this is a big event. Let's roll this TV in here for this.
When you started that story, I thought like the whole school shut down so you guys could watch it. I'm like, what the hell's going on in Virginia?
No.
In history class, that makes a lot more sense.
But it was history. This OJ was it was very smart of why they did. You are going to remember this for the rest of your life. This is the biggest thing that could possibly happen. And also, you got to remember, like, a lot of things happened leading up to that to make this so much bigger.
Of course. And everything that we subsequently, have talked about since then with race and fame and money and all of the things that go along with it.
All before that.
All of these things were a part of that. That's why the OJ Made in America doc is just so unbelievably awesome, the 30 for 30. So we got some OJ stuff that we'll sprinkle in along the way, just what it was like when that thing started. I'll throw this last one in there before we move on. I would listen to the trial on the radio driving around town. You would, and then when they would take a break for lunch between the morning and the afternoon session, all the analysts would come on to the radio or TV if you were in front of a TV, and they would break it down like it was the first half of the Super Bowl.
Jesus.
That this is what the defense did wrong. This is what the prosecution got right. There was a couple jurors that weren't paying attention. The judge made a mistake here. It was It was analyzed and broken down like it was the Super Bowl every day for months. Not one day with the Super Bowl. Every day for months we did that.
And were there halftime stats? Was there a box score? Was there a here's who's winning right now?
Yeah, I know you're making it, but there was this unbelievable scorekeeping that went along with who was ahead. What was the verdict going to be? Who, did Marsha Clark mess up? Was Johnny Cochran kicking her ass? Like, there was just so many of these different angles to it. It was extraordinary.
But what you're just saying, you said Marsha Clark, Christopher Darden, Judge Ito. You know the names of everybody.
Mark Furman, Barry Scheck, F. Lee Bailey, Judge Ito,
Paul
Darden Hardin, Pardon Barbieri, Cato Kalin. Like, right on down the list.
Name me another
Dennis
trial.
Fung. Yeah. Is that your testimony, Dr. Fung?
Dr. Fung. By the way, Dana Carvey did a really great bit on this whole trial one time. If you go back and listen to one of his old stand-up comedies, it was absolutely incredible, making fun of Marsha Clark. But you know all the names of these people, and I don't know another trial
30
that you know
years later,
right.
You know their names. And not just OJ.
You say Judge Ito, you're like, oh yeah, Judge.
And Judge Ito is synonymous with judicial incompetence.
Yep.
It's like you've
the glove, all of it.
Prosecutorial incompetence, right?
If the glove don't fit, you must acquit.
Defense brilliance. He was a brilliant lawyer, right? There's so many different things. It's tremendous. And the Lakers played last night. Like I said, I'm distracted.
No, they didn't.
I am terribly distracted. This is my favorite
Bradley
subject.
Beal played.
Bradley Beal torched him.
play.
Anthony Davis had a great line about that we'll give you next. And trying to figure out. You know what? I came to a happy place with at least the Lakers temporarily. That's coming up next. It's Trav and Slee, 710 ESPN. For the ones who get it done, Grainger offers high-quality supplies and solutions for every industry, as well as access to product specialists who have the knowledge and experience to answer your toughest questions. Plus, their commitment to being your safety partner can help you keep your facility safe and your people safer. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by.
Well, let me tell you something, brother. This Monday at Yalava at the 909 Sports Bar, the greatest sports bar on the planet, it's Monday Night Football, the playoff edition, and we're giving away a ton of money. Oh, yeah, that's right.
And special thanks to Bud Light, making our NFL playoff parties happen. Whoop, whoop.
The Genesis Invitational is coming here to Los Angeles. They're taking over Riviera from February 15th to the 18th, and you have a chance to win a spot in a dream foursome to play golf with me. Trust me, you're going to have a good time. I absolutely promise. That's coming up on January 22nd. Here's how you do it. You listen to our show. You're caller number 7. You win tickets, and you get a chance to be entered in that dream foursome. Riviera is the best spot in town. You want to be a part of that Genesis Invitational, genesisinvitational.com. Don't forget, listen to the Trav and Slee Show starting at 10 a.m. every single day. You're going to have fun, I promise.
All right, guys, it's officially back. Fifth Row Fridays presented by BBGO.
That's the official game day snack of the Lakers, by the way. And this is the best thing we give away. Fifth row seats to a Laker game. How many times do people come up to us and say, hey, give me Laker tickets?
Yes.
We don't have them. I don't even have them, but you can win them if you listen every day.
And these seats are better than the seats that you and Michael have, right?
15 rows better.
Yeah.
Michael and I are like row 20. So here's how you win. You listen every day to all the shows and take notes. If you can answer 5 questions about what happened on the show that day, you're eligible to win.
And don't forget, on Fridays, your chance to call in all 5 right answers, and you are in the fifth row at Crypto.com Arena for a Lakers game.
For free!
I thought for sure, Jorge, that you're going to start with a little chirp. that was coming in.
You know, it gets people going. Like, they're like, stop doing that. I think it's my house.
Dude,
so,
it's
yeah.
the worst.
Yeah, so that's why we did
I thought it was here.
We all looked.
I was like, oh, you know what? I think I got to exit.
What do you got going this weekend, Al?
Actually, to be honest, the Lakers we know got the Jazz tomorrow, but isn't this one of the best NFL weekends, right? Like you get to sit back, you get games on Saturday. Obviously, we're going to close it out with a Sunday night game with the Rams and the Lions.
And Monday night.
Oh, that's right, and Monday night. I don't want to do too much. I just kind of want to kick back and watch NFL. So I think I'm going to spend a lot of time doing that.
Next weekend, I think, is the best weekend because
the buys.
You still have a bunch of games, but the two best teams are back in the mix, and there's football all day Saturday, all day Sunday. That's the one that they're all good, but that's the one that's particularly exciting.
Jorge was having withdrawals of not being able to take the Niners with his 4.
I was. I ain't gonna lie.
You'll have
Niners
Niners
my
with your
6.
4 next
Yeah,
week.
you
Right?
take it as
6
your
or
6.
whatever we
Baby.
got going next week for sure. What do you got going this weekend, Em?
I was actually planning. Okay, so I had planned a weekend trip with some friends before the Rams had started getting good.
Oh, okay.
And
You
so
had no
ended up having
faith.
to back out of those plans, which I'm happy about. I'm happy to watch the Rams do their thing.
Where are they
and
going? What are they doing?
Joshua Tree. It's not anything crazy. Yeah, exactly. But it was like a nice place in Joshua Tree.
It's not going anywhere.
Yeah, exactly. I'll be able to go again, but it would have been fun. And then on Monday, I'm going to see potentially your most anticipated movie of the year.
Top
Mean
Gun 3?
Girls. Yeah, no, Mean Girls. I'm going to go see the Mean Girls movie musical, and I'm super excited about it.
So
Okay, I got a quick question on your Joshua Tree. That's not happening. When was this planned? Like we're talking
Yeah.
Packers-Rams game where everybody just thought it was a complete disaster.
that
of
would have
two
been the time
teams?
to play it.
That's the
plan
time
it,
to
right?
plan it. How far in advance did you plan it?
It was like, I think end of November is when its plans started to come about because my friends and I had wanted to do a trip, and we're like, oh, it's MLK weekend. Let's do it then. So it's probably like end of November. So that was like the Rams had maybe just beaten one person that was kind of good. Anyway, so it's around then.
Been meaning to tell you this all morning long. But the movie that you guys have been talking about, Iron Shovel, what was it called?
Iron Claw.
Iron Claw.
Iron Claw.
Shovel?
What the hell?
Yeah, I knew it had iron in it, and I knew that there was an implement. That's what it was. So I go home yesterday. Kelly and Susan went to see the movie a couple nights ago.
Yeah.
I had not seen Kel until yesterday. And she starts telling me, Emily, she told me the exact same story that you, I mean, almost word for word.
And
about,
she started crying too?
Yes, about the final scene, about not being a brother anymore, and about the crying. It was like she had listened to what you said and repeated it almost.
Yeah.
The setup, the everything, beat for beat for beat. So that
Wow.
scene clearly had an unbelievable impact on people and young women in particular.
I really encourage men to see this movie specifically. I think, and Al, I think you can attest to this too. I think that it's really powerful. I think it allows people to feel things they might not normally allow themselves to feel. And to me, I know people have been making this equation, but it feels a little bit like the movie Little Women, but it's with men. And it's just like the women in Little Women are allowed to feel a lot of things. The men in Iron Claw are not. And that's what leads to a lot of their downfall. So go see Iron Claw.
And you know, the dad in the movie, and I know he kind of comes off as a bad guy or what. This is probably all he knew as well, right? No, you're not supposed to let your feelings out.
Yeah,
no,
hurt
no,
people
this
hurt
is,
people.
Yep, yeah, this is, you never show a sign of weakness, especially that industry, what they were doing. And by the way, that's still very common. I grew up Middle Eastern family. You don't show your emotions, right? Like, I think that's very, very common. I think it's only now that and the movie, I think a lot of people can apply to it, but at least apply their personal life to it. But I think now it's more and more open and open. Even in our world, Trav, I mean, you do this when you do your Locked On Rams 5 days a week.
Thank you,
everything
Steve.
you talk about.
YouTube component.
cry every
YouTube
time?
component.
Every day, or it costs you nothing. You can listen every day.
Think about this. Some of even those types of partners have come into that space, which is a male-dominant space. The Better Helps, the Talk space, I think is the other one. They've come in. It is kind of a different type of world where it is more accepted. I think the movie is fantastic, and I think that's one part of it that I think is very interesting. But yeah, definitely very touching.
Did that final scene hit you the way it hit Emily and hit my daughter Kelly? That was just the one that you wanted to just start bawling?
Well, because I was sitting front row, I had a lot of space in front of me. I started pacing.
No, I'm genuinely asking.
It was incredibly strong.
Yeah,
very, very, very strong. Yes, absolutely hit me, and I think,
and it's a direct parallel to a scene earlier in the movie.
Yep, exactly. It's exactly that. That's right. Even that opening scene after his first match, but absolutely hit me.
And by the way, I know Mace talks about it, and he is the spokesperson for this, but LA County Mental Health Department, and, always they have options and things available for you. But, yeah, I think that Iron Claw is great if you want to experience that.
All right, so let's start this, Lee, and then we can continue the conversation as we go forward. Anthony Davis last night, I thought, said something that was funny and true simultaneously. And I'm not quite – I'm sure he meant it a little bit humorously, but basically he said that everybody that we play against turns into Steph Curry.
Yep.
That it doesn't matter what the stat sheet says. When they show up to play against the Lakers, everyone is one of the Splash Brothers. And we saw it again last night. Durant had 18 on 12 shots. Both Booker and Beal had over 30 points, and nobody could miss. And I think it just kind of speaks to where the Lakers are emotionally. Like, man, even guys that aren't supposed to make shots are making shots against us. And never mind the Durants and the Bookers of the world. Of course, they're going to make their shots. It just feels like they're kind of just frustrated, annoyed. Everything is coming to a head right now because they just can't get out of their own way.
All right, he's right. It does seem that way. And I can name off, just off the top of my head, Dante Exum hit 7 threes against the Lakers.
Yeah.
Okay, Tim Hardaway Jr., who's a good player, went off for 30-plus on the Lakers. Marcus Smart hit 8 threes against the Lakers. Bradley Beal has only played, in a handful of games, and he went off. He clearly had his best game against the Lakers as a Phoenix Sun and had 8 threes. However, okay, is it other guys that are – is it a coincidence that these guys are having career type of nights? I know it happens every day in the NBA. There's a guy tonight that will go off that you're like, what the hell did that come from?
Portland lost by 62 last night.
Barely. Squeaker. It's a squeaker.
UCLA was down by 40 at the half
what
last
the hell
night.
was that? But
54-14.
Oh, my gosh. I set that up because he's not wrong that guys are going off, but I don't – like, what do you want me to tell you? Like, if you want me to tell you, the one thing that I think's been – if I said, hey, what's one thing that frustrates you about Darvin Ham? Most Laker fans would be they don't make adjustments.
Mm-hmm.
They come into a game saying, hey, that guy's not a good three-point shooter. Let's lay off of him. And even if that guy starts hitting threes, they lay off of him. Like, there's no adjustments. There's no, okay, well, maybe he's a bad three-point shooter, but tonight he's got it going. So let's pay a little bit more attention to him. I don't want to make an excuse that – do you think the excuse for the Lakers – and I'm with you. It is kind of funny that Anthony Davis says what he says, but there's also an underlying truth to it of, like, AD, this ain't a coincidence.
No.
I think it's happening to the Lakers because of how poor they are defensively or how lack of adjustments throughout a game.
Yeah, let's talk about that. Let's get into where they are, what it is. It was, they had a couple of wins in a row that you just kind of said, hey, look, maybe there were some, but we got them. Let's see what comes up. And they got their doors blown off last night. The final score was not nearly indicative of how lopsided most of that game was.
Right, they were down 30-plus.
Yeah, it was a really bad night for them, and I think that it basically just sped up what the ultimate at least attempt at a fix is going to be. That's coming up next. It's Travis Lee, 710 ESPN. Before we do that, though, let's talk about
I gotta get out.
Prize Picks, right? Hold on. I gotta go change a battery real quick. Prize Picks is the most fun I've had playing daily fantasy sports, and I don't know how long. And here's why. It's just fun. It's easy. You pick between 2 to 6 players, and you choose more or less. I love the footballs, right? Cooper Kupp, more or less than 71.5 receiving yards this weekend against the Lions. Puka Nacua, right? Do you think Puka Nacua is going to have more or less than 76.5 yards against the Lions? That's Prize Picks. 2 to 6 players, you can win up to 25 times your money.
Like Trav does, he plays all the NFL games. I'm playing the NBA games. You guys hear me, whether it's here on Travis and Sliwa show, right before the pregame show, I'm putting in my picks. Usually it's who the Lakers are going to play. One last night. So I think there's a lot of different sports that you can play, a lot of different players that you can play. Prize Picks, it's the largest daily fantasy sports platform in North America. With the Prize Picks sports app, you could be making your picks right up to the fourth quarter. Join the 7 million Prize Picks fans today. By the way, put your picks in, submit your entry. It takes about 60 seconds. Go to prizepicks.com/710. Use that code 710 for a first deposit match of up to $100. That's prizepicks.com /710. Use that code 710 for a first deposit match of up to $100. Must be present in certain states. Visit PrizePicks.com for restrictions.
Hey, it's John Ireland, and I'm at Ralph's in Redondo Beach. You got to check this place out. It's at 1413 Hawthorne Boulevard in Redondo Beach. And on January 15th, Mason and I are going to be here. Mason and Ireland, live remote with BBGO. Sasha Vujicic will be here, Derek Fisher will be here, and hopefully you'll be here too. It's all part of a big Lakers BBGO promotion. You can win BBGO, you can win Lakers swag, you even have a chance to win courtside seats. Don't miss it. Ralph's in Redondo Beach. This place is huge. Check it out. This may be the biggest supermarket I've ever seen. Be sure to join us January 15th. Ralph's in Redondo Beach. Derek Fisher, Sasha Vujicic, Mason, Ireland, and BBGO.
All right, guys, it's officially back. Fifth Row Fridays presented by BBGO.
That's the official game day snack of the Lakers, by the way. And this is the best thing we give away. Fifth row seats to a Laker game. How many times do people come up to us and say, hey, give me Laker tickets?
Yes.
We don't have them. I don't even have them, but you can win them if you listen every day.
And these seats are better than the seats that you and Michael have, right?
15 rows better.
Yeah.
Michael and I are like row 20. So here's how you win. You listen every day to all the shows and take notes. If you can answer 5 questions about what happened on the show that day, you're eligible to win.
And don't forget, on Fridays, your chance to call in all 5 right answers, and you are in the fifth row at Crypto.com Arena for a Lakers game.
For free!
You think I do a Matthew Stafford. Wait till he goes into Detroit and does to them what he wasn't able to do for them, and that's win a playoff game at Ford Field. Look, I'm not a conspiracy theorist necessarily until it comes to sports, and then I love a good conspiracy theory. And Matthew Stafford coming back to Detroit, can't beat it. Can't beat it. It's
so
gonna be
this
amazing.
is what I was going to ask you. I was going to ask you, how was Chris's voice? Was it pretty accurate?
Not bad. It's pretty good.
I got to be honest, I kind of like there at the end where he says, well, that's me being Travis, talking about Matthew Stafford.
Get
I like
excited.
that portion rather than the actual him being your voice. And then the other question that I have is, because this is Bud Light Football Friday, and you are, let's just say you're a proud spokesperson for Bud Light.
Indeed, I am.
Any I don't know, some tips here that you want to offer to our people out there? Maybe
Here's
a little
what
cooler
I would
action
suggest.
this weekend?
Here's what I would suggest. Stay tuned to your Instagram and Twitter accounts, because there will probably be something coming your way in the next 24, 48 hours.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm just saying that there's some stuff that we got. Yes.
Yeah. Because your cooler game is on point. I figure there might be 1 or 2 people they could use a couple tips here and there.
Let me ask you a question. I need you to do you find me a particularly boastful man?
Yes.
Okay. That being true, the thing that I am most boastful about is my cooler game.
Yep.
I can pack a cooler correctly.
Yes.
As well or better than anyone out there. My cooler game is on point.
Yeah.
And it's something that I'm very proud of.
There's advice that you've given me that, sometimes people give each other life advice. I think the most important advice you've given me is too much ice is never enough ice.
No such thing.
So just go ahead and buy a couple extra bags.
What's the worst that happens?
Ice.
It melts and it runs down the drain? I mean, what could possibly happen?
Are your drinks too cold? Your Bud Light's too cold? Oh, man.
Exactly
darn.
Right. Exactly. You know who's got real cooler game?
Who?
Beto.
Oh, yeah.
Beto sends me
yeah.
pictures of his cooler setup. Like we did a whole thing about you got the cooler for the one game, you got the cooler for the doubleheader, you got the cooler for the day, you got the cooler for the house party, you got the cooler for the week on the weekend where family staying.
And there's
with
a difference between a cooler that's totally on beverages and a cooler that mixes beverages and food.
Of course.
Yeah. He's got a cooler going to Macy's, okay?
It's not a bad idea.
He's got cooler everywhere.
I've heard worse ideas for sure. So Lakers get beat last night by Phoenix, and it really got. I mean, they were down by 17 points at one point in the fourth quarter, and they had a couple of small runs.
17?
But,
no.
Yeah.
My brother, the 17 looked good. They were down 32.
yeah. But what I was getting at, Al, is that they were down 17 in the first quarter again.
Oh, yeah.
That they got off to another bad start, and it got worse from there. That sometimes they can pull themselves out of it, but they didn't. It was bad. And this team, they've played what now, 39 games?
39 in. You have 2 games after Monday's game against OKC. That's halfway point.
This team, the 2023-24 Lakers, to this point, they're average. And I really don't think that you can say that they're bad, because I don't think they are. And I really don't think that you can say that they're good, because I don't think they are. They're average. And the Lakers are not content being average. The Lakers will not accept being average. The Lakers will do something to try to fix this. And the trade deadline, we're just about a month away from it, and something's going to happen. So as frustrating as it is to watch this group, Slee, this isn't going to be the group that much longer, because I just can't imagine that help, or at least an attempt at help, isn't on the horizon.
It's interesting because I thought part of the offseason for the Lakers was, hey, they're going to have some continuity. Hey, this offseason is going to be a little bit different because they made a run to the Western Conference Finals, and Rob Pelinka in the front office didn't panic is not the right word, but you've seen the turnover on this roster year to year. I mean, we saw the turnover after they won a championship. There was a lot of turnover. So I think there were a lot of Laker fans that were excited to see the same team come back. And now that we sit here almost halfway through the season, I could actually make an argument. You said, look, I don't think they're awful. I don't think they're great. They're just average. Well, I'll tell you where they're trending. They're 5-11 in their last 16 games. They got very, very lucky to beat the Toronto Raptors. Mm-hmm. I think you keep mentioning, you're like, Al, but what were some of their other wins? One was against Charlotte. I think one was against San Antonio. So it's also like they have one win against Oklahoma City Thunder, so let's give them credit from that perspective. And then the one against the Clippers, the 106-103. But I think if I ask you where are they trending, you're not going to complain about Anthony Davis. You're not really going to complain at all about LeBron James. Both of them didn't play well yesterday, but for the most part, big picture, you're not going to complain about what they've been doing. I wouldn't be surprised if they keep trending in this. They're not giving us a reason of why they wouldn't trend in this right
there's
direction.
There's no indicators that this is about to turn. Because we've said this a lot, but it bears repeating. This is a 500 team with AD and LeBron James playing every night at a high level.
That's not good.
That's not good. So that's why you have to do something. If this were a 500 team with AD and LeBron in and out of the lineup, with AD and LeBron maybe not playing at their very best, you could tell yourself,
could justify it.
Yeah, AD will get back. He'll play better. LeBron's not at his best. He'll be better. That's something you could conceivably wait out. This is those two guys playing at a very high level every night. You're 500. It's not going to change.
So I think this goes back to what you just said, and I think it's I have accepted that. Okay, hey, it's an average team at best. Yesterday we had one of the beat writers on for the Phoenix Suns, and he was kind of explaining something that I thought was interesting. He's like, Phoenix is desperate. They don't want to be in the play-in tournament, and here are the Lakers and the Suns kind of both neck and neck in the play-in tournament. But what he was saying, he kept describing, he's like, you don't know how dangerous these 1 or 2 games would be where you could potentially just not even make the playoffs. It's like, no, we do know that because the Lakers have basically lived there. So now you're asking yourself, all right, you have less than a month now to, like you just said, to change your roster. I got some players that I have in mind that I think, if the Lakers make a move, it just feels like, yes, I think D'Angelo Russell would be a part of a move that the Lakers make.
Well, he almost has to be, right? I mean, especially if you're going to get a player of a certain caliber, and we're talking about, a Murray, a Levine, one of those guys, the money has to add up. So D'Angelo almost has to be in one of those deals.
Well, and he actually is not making crazy money. It's not like his contract alone is enough because he's only making $17 million or $18 million, whatever it is. But I think what it is, Trav, more than anything else, teams are looking at the Lakers. They kind of see a little bit of a desperation here that LeBron's 39 years old, that there's question marks about Darvin Ham and whether he's the right coach. They're also going to make sure that they're taking advantage of the Lakers. But I don't know how much of a choice that they have right now because clearly the team that they have is just not a squad that you feel confident is going to make any noise.
No, they will do something. One of the things that I like the most about the Lakers, and sometimes it could be incredibly frustrating, but it's also incredibly exciting, is they don't just sit around, right?
No.
When it's not working, they do something. And sometimes the something isn't great. Looking at you, Russell Westbrook, but they always do something. It's never where they just say, this is kind of what it is, and let's hope for the best. Let's hope everybody plays a little bit. That's not how they roll. They're aggressive. They are reactionary, and they're going to do something. That's why hey, what are we going to do about this? I'm not terribly worried about it because this group is only going to be together for at best another 3.5, 4 weeks. This is, and I don't think they're going to play themselves out of the playoff picture. I don't think that they're going to play themselves way inside that number 6 seed along the way. They're going to be about here, and they're going to try to fix it. And then it's more, okay, what do you do from here? But change is coming.
What's interesting is since they started their hey, Lakers are good. They got some home cooking in January. Everything's going to change in January. 2-3, and I think actually fortunate to be 2-3.
Yep.
You're also starting to get. I'm not telling you that there's going to be added pressure because there's always pressure to the Lakers. They're booing. Fans are booing at that Miami game. Fans were booing last night. Lakers and the Suns. There's also a frustration from Laker fans because, again, you walk in with certain expectations, and they are so far from meeting what those expectations are, and we're almost at the halfway point.
All right, the booing thing made me think about what may happen in Detroit this weekend with Matthew Stafford. We'll talk about that coming up about 11 o'clock, about 17 minutes from right now. But don't forget, it is a Bud Light Football Friday here on 710 as we get you ready for Super Wild Card Weekend. And don't miss Rams All Access. That's tonight at 7 o'clock with the voice of the Rams, JB Long, and the Super Bowl champion, Rams Super Bowl champion, DeMarco Farr, who also is going to join us today at 11:15. This weekend, be sure to crack open a Bud Light. Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Pick up Bud Light at your local convenience store today for Super Wild Card Weekend. Bud Light Football Friday all day long on 710 ESPN. Ask Slee Friday edition coming up next. It's Travis Slee, 710 ESPN. My Rotolo Chevrolet Silverado to the store when I load up for this weekend because, well, that's how I roll. I roll in a Chevy Silverado from Rotolo Chevrolet. You should do the same thing. If you've been thinking, you've been looking at Silverados, you see them on the road, they're all over the place. I got to get myself one of those. You got to get it at Rotolo. Here's why. They have exactly what you want. They're going to, the pricing is going to be exactly what you have in mind. The customer service, it's going to blow you away. That's what they do at Rotolo Chevrolet. That's why they've won Dealer of the Year 13 years in a row, because they take care of everybody, right? You're going to feel good about it. You're going to tell your friends about it. You're going to feel like you know exactly what's going on. Courteous, transparent up front. When was the last time you felt, never mind buying a car, buying anything, where you felt like you knew exactly what was happening? That's what they do at Rotolo. From Mike Capozio right on down the line. They make sure that you're the most important person on the lot because that is exactly what you are. Rotolo Chevy online, R-O-T-O-L-O, Rotolo Chevy online. Come on into the store. Right off the 210 freeway, Sierra Avenue exit in Fontana. When you get there, tell them that Travis sent you.
Most borrowers love.
All right, guys, it's officially back. Fifth Row Fridays presented by BBGO.
That's the official game day snack of the Lakers, by the way. And this is the best thing we give away. Fifth row seats to a Laker game. How many times do people come up to us and say, hey, give me Laker tickets?
Yes.
We don't have them. I don't even have them, but you can win them if you listen every day.
And these seats are better than the seats that you and Michael have, right?
15 rows better.
Yeah.
Michael and I are like row 20. So here's how you win. You listen every day to all the shows and take notes. If you can answer 5 questions about what happened on the show that day, you're eligible to win.
And don't forget, on Fridays, your chance to call in all 5 right answers, and you are in the 5th row at Crypto.com Arena for a Lakers game for free.
Well, let me tell you something, brother. This Monday at Yalava at the 909 Sports Bar, the greatest sports bar on the planet, it's Monday Night Football, the playoff edition, and we're giving away a ton of money. Oh, yeah, that's right.
And special thanks to Bud Light, making our NFL playoff parties happen. Whoop, whoop.
The Genesis Invitational is coming here to Los Angeles. They're taking over Riviera from February 15th to the 18th, and you have a chance to win a spot in a dream foursome to play golf with me. Trust me, you're going to have a good time. I absolutely promise. That's coming up on January 22nd. Here's how you do it. You listen to our show. You're caller number 7. You win tickets, and you get a chance to be entered in that dream foursome. Riviera is the best spot in town. You want to be a part of that Genesis Invitational, genesisinvitational.com. Don't forget, listen to the Travis Lee Show starting at 10 a.m. every single day. You're going to have fun, I promise. All right, Al, you ready for this?
Let's do it, brother.
If you want to call in, you know how to do it. 877-710-ESPN, 877-710-3776. We're going to start right here. This is Anthony Gaeta, who writes, what is the one store/service that was a huge deal when you were a kid that's no longer needed or available, and no, Blockbuster Video doesn't count? Hashtag Ask Slee.
All right, I'm trying to think here. All right, used to go. Do you remember this? Do you remember and I don't know if it's still around, and it's not like I was in there buying things all the time, but I just thought it was the greatest place. Remember Field of Dreams?
Oh, yeah.
It used to have all the memorabilia.
Yeah, sure.
Used to have some really cool things, just like in general, whatever it was. They always had cool things, and anytime you walked in, I know it's random too. There was one. Was it the one in Vegas? I think Pete Rose was always in there, signing autographs for the kids. I always found Field of Dreams, and there was one in Parkway Plaza in El Cajon, our mall that we had. Anytime I was at the mall, I had to go in there. And then you just have your regular ones that would sell, Sports Chalet, things like that. If anything that was selling a hoop or was selling a football or was selling like any of that stuff, I had to go there. Those were always part of my go-tos.
Toys R Us. Right?
Yeah.
Like going to a Toys R Us when you were a kid, and you're walking through and you're seeing all that stuff in one place, and a little bit later on when I had kids and walking through, you could see the excitement on their face. Those places are long gone. That was we'd kill time. We'd take the kids to Toys R Us just to walk around, and especially hot in the summer, it's air conditioned in there. That was a big deal.
I just watched a video on Twitter the other day. It was a guy walking inside a Best Buy, says this used to have kids looking at video games. This used to have you testing out the new PS2 that was coming out. Like, it had demo games. It was incredible. Best Buy was an experience.
You just order it and it's on your doorstep the very next day.
Okay, wait. What were the places real quick that was? I'm trying to think off the top of my head. Jorge, what were they called when you were going in? I'm trying to think of which ones they were. You just go listen to CDs, right? Before the CD came out, or
Sam
anything.
Goody.
Oh,
yes,
yeah.
Exactly. Like a Sam Goody or one of those.
The Warehouse.
You'd go in there, and it's like
Tower
Records.
Yeah.
You go into any of these places, and you'd be like, all right, I'm going to listen to a CD, and if I like it, I'm going to buy it. If not, well, I'll memorize it.
Ritmo Latino.
Play it in my own head.
Tower Records doesn't exist anymore. It's like Supreme now, right? Is that that same place?
The one on Sunset Boulevard?
Yeah. All right, so this one's from Jacob Brightwood, and he says, okay, Slee, are you aware of the Humpty Dumpty nursery rhyme?
Yeah,
okay.
I am.
So the question is, where does it say in Humpty Dumpty that he is an egg? Because in all the imagery, Humpty Dumpty is always an egg that he cracks, and that's the issue. So where does it say that Humpty Dumpty is an egg?
Does it say it at all? I don't think it does.
It does not.
Humpty Dumpty had a
sat
great
on a
fall.
wall.
Humpty Dumpty had a great fall. All the king's horses and all the
Horses, all
king's
king's
men
men.
couldn't put Humpty together again. So it's likely that it's just about a person falling off a wall, and then we turn it
Breaking
into
their
an
legs?
egg. Yeah, then we turn it into an egg.
What the hell?
All those nursery rhymes, when you go back into it, are all so
they're all
dark.
Like
They're very dark.
Okay,
Ring
they're
Around
all
Rosie.
they're all completely.
It's about the plague.
Oh, yeah, that's. Jeez.
It is. Ring
No, I
around
know.
the-
You're right. They're all over the place.
Here's why. It doesn't say that he's an egg, but
Mm.
illustrating a child's book with the king with 2 shattered femurs, not great visuals for a
It's
6-year-old.
not.
It's just probably not quite the same thing. Jorge.
This one's from Chrissy. She says, when you get a scoop or 2 of ice cream,
Okay.
do you get it in a cup, regular cone, or a waffle cone? And what flavors do you get? I'm just adding that one.
Okay, so this is the waffle cone is my favorite. Okay, waffle cone is my favorite.
Good
Plus, it gives it time as that scoop or 2 as it kind of starts melting and it's filling up the rest of the cone. Like it's a good way of doing good way of doing ice cream. Okay,
and you
so
have to eat the receptacle.
That's yes.
yeah. And by the way, there are ones because you got the one with the cones that at the absolute bottom there's a little bit of a hole there, so you're always working on leaking. I've gone to a couple of these places. I don't know why it's the greatest design ever, where there's no hole, right? Like it's just kind of like completely closed off. I'm like, this is the greatest invention that I've ever seen in my life.
If you're doing it right, you with the cone, you drip some chocolate in it, and then you freeze it so it creates a little plug at the bottom of the cone.
Exactly.
And then when you get that last bite, you get a little nugget of chocolate in there along the way.
I'm a cake cone person. I prefer the non-waffle cone. I just don't like the waffle cone that much, but I prefer something that I can eat. If I'm gonna stay at that ice cream shop wherever, and I'm gonna eat the whole thing, yes. But if I'm taking it home or whatever,
Cup. Yeah.
And where are you going for ice cream? Because we went for ice cream last week, and Brenda's like, "Oh, they opened a new Cold Stone. Let's go check." I'm like, "Cool, let's go to Cold Stone, dude." $25 for like ice cream.
Everything's
golly, I was like, we could have gotten
crazy.
a tub or 3 for
Baskin Robbins.
Exactly.
Not a bad way to go.
Okay, so just Jorge to add to the last part.
Yeah.
I love pistachio. I know that's not
good.
the most popular out there.
No, that's good, Slee.
It is good.
Rocky Road does his thing.
That's my
Mint
favorite.
chocolate chip. It has to be like I don't always
That's
crave
toothpaste, man.
I don't always crave it, but there's every once in a while butter pecans another.
That's
good
a great
one.
choice.
Yeah, there's some good ones out.
By the way, Rocky Road is impossible.
Number 1.
do y'all like
Rocky Road's
Salt
got all
and
the
Straw?
things in it.
So
Yeah,
Salt
no.
and Straw is that place that like always experiments this weird, crazy ice cream flavors that are like chicken and waffles and all that stuff. Do you guys like Salt and Straw? Have you ever been there?
I
place-
can't speak. I've never been.
I've been
There.
there.
Downtown Disney.
I've been there. It's good. I don't get anything too crazy. That place kills it.
Yeah.
There's one in Pasadena.
This should be our next draft. Ice cream
That's-
flavors. There you go.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Great idea.
That's
My
a good
old
one
roommate
right
used to
there.
get all like the weirdest flavors.
Like I don't want. Why would I? And I'm
Yeah,
not
I don't want that.
I don't want my ice cream to taste like chicken. That's insane.
Or toothpaste.
Right. Yeah. I think, but I get I like mint chocolate chip too. Slee, I'm with you on that. Like I don't dislike it either, but I get why somebody doesn't.
Or
like
he
it.
might have just ruined it for me.
Yeah.
Because I think he's not
toothpaste with
that
chocolate
far
chips
off
in it.
about the.
You're
toothpaste.
not wrong, but I can muscle through it a little bit along the way. Just one more quick one here, Slee. This is from Aaron Palmer. Why doesn't anyone ask Trav what he's up to on the weekend? Hashtag Ask Slee.
What are you doing this weekend?
You know what I think it is? And it's a good – I think there's a couple times I could see it in your face where it's like, oh, so cool, you're not going to throw that same question back at me. It's completely fair. I think we just get caught up in a second. Let me give today as an example. You said, and I think it was coming into the second segment, you said, hey, Slee, what's the plan this weekend?
Mm-hmm.
I gave you a little bit. And then, then you shifted right over to Emily, and you said, Em, what's your plan this weekend? So I think maybe I'm using this as a complete excuse, and I am an a-hole. I think because you're driving it, that sometimes we forget to throw it right back.
Who cares?
I think that's the most accurate answer. I think Emily is.
Oh, you're gonna go to baseball games
Slee,
and then
you're
sit at
being
home?
very nice. You're trying to do the
said
right
you
thing.
go to a baseball
Emily
game.
just has naked contempt and hatred for my life. So it's.
Oh, you're gonna hang out
it's
with your
fine.
kids at a
I am.
baseball game, sit
Yes.
at home on a couch and watch football.
Yes.
Yep.
What?
Eat food.
I'm trying to kind of pump the brakes a little bit, but yeah, probably.
Good stuff.
Yeah, see, she knows. She just lays it out there. No regard
No filter.
whatsoever.
No need.
We've been doing it all week long, right? It's the Genesis Invitational. It's coming back to Riviera Country Club starting on February 15th. Be sure to listen to this show, the Trav and Slee Show, on Live Imaging Tuesday when we announce the grand prize winner and who will be playing with me in the Dream Foursome at Riv on Monday, January 22nd. No way they boo Matthew Stafford in Detroit, right? That's coming up next. It's Trav and Slee, 710 ESPN.
All right, guys, it's officially back. Fifth Row Fridays presented by BBGO.
That's the official game day snack of the Lakers, by the way. And this is the best thing we give away. Fifth row seats to a Laker game. How many times do people come up to us and say, hey, give me Laker tickets?
Yes.
We don't have them. I don't even have them, but you can win them if you listen every day.
And these seats are better than the seats that you and Michael have, right?
15 rows better.
Yeah.
Michael and I are like row 20. So here's how you win. You listen every day to all the shows and take notes. If you can answer 5 questions about what happened on the show that day, you're eligible to win.
And don't forget, on Fridays, your chance to call in all 5 right answers, and you are in the fifth row at Crypto.com Arena for a Lakers game for free.
Well, let me tell you something, brother. This Monday at Yalava at the 909 Sports Bar, the greatest sports bar on the planet, it's Monday Night Football, the playoff edition, and we're giving away a ton of money. Oh, yeah, that's right.
And special thanks to Bud Light, making our NFL playoff parties happen. Whoop, whoop.
The Genesis Invitational is coming here to Los Angeles. They're taking over Riviera from February 15th to the 18th, and you have a chance to win a spot in a dream foursome to play golf with me. Trust me, you're going to have a good time. I absolutely promise. That's coming up on January 22nd. Here's how you do it. You listen to our show. You're caller number 7. You win tickets, and you get a chance to be entered in that dream foursome. Riviera is the best spot in town. You want to be a part of that Genesis Invitational, genesisinvitational.com. Don't forget, listen to the Trav and Slee Show starting at 10 a.m. every single day. You're going to have fun, I promise. I think I agree with you, Slee, that Chris explaining that that's me doing Matthew Stafford is the best part of that.
That's great.
I don't.
That's great.
I think that's it. Jorge, a quick Ask Slee that's directed at you.
Okay.
Mailman Matt wants to know why you like the Andes mints from Olive Garden, but you don't like the chocolate chip ice cream.
I never. No. I didn't say I like them. I said, do they still have them?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I asked if they still have those mints.
They can throw them away.
No, because Brenda loves those.
Does she like chocolate mint ice cream?
Yeah, she does. So
and
like,
you just don't want to have a mouthful of Colgate?
Toothpaste, man. Toothpaste with chocolate
terrible.
chips.
That's how I feel about like coffee, anything else but actual coffee. So like when people have like coffee ice cream or coffee
ice cream
scent
too.
thing,
Yeah.
I don't like that as much because I just stick to coffee as my coffee and thing for mint.
I'm going to try this. I'm going to put my toothpaste in the freezer, and then I'm just going to try it tomorrow.
Just put it on top of like your mashed potatoes or something.
And I'm going to put a couple chocolate chips in there and just maybe that's the same thing.
Why not? Why not?
But cheaper.
Exactly right. DeMarco Farr is going to join us in about 15 minutes from right now. We'll get you ready for the Rams and the Lions. The Goff McVey thing we've talked about a lot. Whether or not Sam Laporta is going to be available, and if he is available, how effective will he be? Can Aaron Donald get to Jared Goff? Can they offer all of this stuff?
Yep.
But Stafford returning to Detroit, we haven't spent a ton of time on, and it obviously is going to be a very emotional thing for him. He spent the vast majority of his career there. His kids were born there. His wife had a health scare there. He lived a life there, right? So he's got some roots in that town to be sure. There's no way they boo him, right? That when one of the best players in the history of your organization, I get they haven't had a million of them, but he's on the short list. Do you let him have it just because he's back in a different uniform? Do you boo that guy?
Do you listen? I know he's a household name there. He's unbelievable. It's not like he didn't win a playoff game there, and he also didn't win a Super Bowl there. Obviously, the two of those go together. You already said thank you to Matt Stafford. How many times do you want to say thank you to Matt Stafford? I mean, they were clearly appreciative of him. Clearly, they respected what he did in Detroit. He went on to win a Super Bowl, and you know his mark in history. It's there as one of the better quarterbacks in the history of the NFL. I'm not trying to sit here and say, oh, that's Steve Young. He's got a great history in the NFL, and he's done some great things, and he won a Super Bowl. I'm trying to win a game if I'm Detroit. Mm-hmm. I don't. Whatever heart that you had for Matt Stafford is now in your way. He already got everything, and now he's in your way to do something for a franchise that clearly hasn't had a lot of success. So I don't care. If I'm at that Lions game, and I'm not much of a booer, I did boo Ohtani during the Angels game. I thought that was funny. It was Angels-Padres. I was the only one doing it, and I did it for no other reason other than I just know how great he is. But I'm not a booer, right? Like, and I know some people aren't. But if I'm at the Lions game and I'm born and raised in Detroit, and somebody next to me is booing Stafford, I'm not going to say, hey, sit down. What are you doing? The Lions are trying to win a game. I mean, I got no problem with that at all. I really don't.
I think that if Stafford in pregame has a close-up shot of his face in the stadium, I don't think they're booing. I think that there's going to be cheering, and they're going to be happy that he's there. Just a close-up of his face solo.
Okay, why would they cheer him?
But
somebody help me out with this. Why are they cheering? Are the Lions not trying to? The Lions are trying to win a game. You did everything for Matthew Stafford already. You already said thank you to Matthew Stafford. Matthew Stafford already cashed in on a Super Bowl. Can't the Lions just worry about the Lions?
I'm talking about pregame. The game has not started. He is not throwing a ball. I think this is pregame. Once that game starts, I think I don't think they're going to boo him. They're certainly not going to cheer for him, and certainly not if the Rams beat them. I think that the pregame is going to be where Matthew Stafford gets a little love.
Look, I think, Emily, you're right about the pregame thing. I think that's a very good point. I'm not saying you stand up and give the guy a standing ovation as he's driving in the fourth quarter to come beat you. That's if you can't hold two thoughts in your head at the same time, I can't help you. Right? That if you're, he's on the other color, he's wearing a different jersey. Boo. Okay, cool. That's you. That's fine. That's fine. If that's how you see it, this is one of the guys. He left under good terms. He gave you everything he had. He didn't leave acrimoniously. He left the organization in a better place than when he arrived. He did everything you could. I'm not saying you got to give the guy a tribute video in a playoff game. That's fine. But to go out of your way to try to crap on a guy just because it's his first, that I just don't get it. Maybe I don't care enough. Maybe I simply just don't care enough. But I'll use this as an example. Let's say that prior to the pandemic, Clayton Kershaw decided, you know what? I want to go home and I want to play in Dallas. And I got to do this. And Clayton Kershaw comes back to L.A. and pitches against the Dodgers. I'm not booing him. I'm not cheering for him to go do it. But I just don't understand how that the options are feeding this guy like he's the coming back to slit your throat. You don't have to do that, but to boo a guy that was a class act from the moment he got there till the moment he left seems really stupid to me.
Maybe I guess we're just stuck on the booing portion of it, but let me try to give you another example. If Clayton Kershaw is coming back to Dodger Stadium and he's pitching in Game 3 of the World Series, and it's the Dodgers and the Texas Rangers, you don't have to boo Clayton Kershaw. I'm with you. There's no if somebody boos him, it is like,
it's
okay,
stupid.
you're booing Clayton Kershaw.
Stupid.
Okay, I get that portion of it. But I'm also, there's not an ounce of me, if I'm a Dodgers fan, that's rooting for him in anything.
No, but that's different. That rooting for is not the thing that you have to do if you're not booing. Root for your guys. Root for your thing. And like you and me, Bosley, we're not booers.
I'm cheering when he gives up a home run. I'm
Of
cheering
course.
when he's, you're
Of
trying to
course.
win. That's
Of
the only
course,
thing that
but
matters.
That's not booing to me means F you. Right?
It's active. It's not
it's exactly. It is an active, I don't want you to have anything good in your life, right? That's not what this is to me. This is I'm not cheering for you, and I hope you do throw interceptions or give up home runs or whatever it is. But this, he's on the other team. Maybe simply I just don't care.
Also, don't you guys think that the way people boo, it also has to do by how you leave a team?
Like a huge part of it.
Yeah,
a huge part of it.
If there was bad blood when he left, there was none.
One example,
none of
can I give you the example, is Shaq gets traded. Remember when he gets traded to Miami?
Yeah.
And then they play on that Christmas game. And I can't remember. I genuinely cannot remember how the crowd reacted to Shaq. But I do remember in that playoff run, I wanted the Heat to lose. I didn't want Shaq to go get another championship because it was – the Lakers made the wrong decision. Dr. Jerry Buss made the wrong decision. And there was this connection with Shaq. Listen, he was with the Lakers for 8 years. He won three NBA championships. It was an unbelievable run. They haven't had a run like that since the 80s Showtime era. It was just that great. It was that special of a time when Shaq was there. But when he started having success right out the gate with another team, it's like, we screwed up. We chose the wrong guy. We should have traded Kobe. So I think your affiliation with the team, there are emotions that, of course, are sometimes they're unreasonable.
Make me feel bad about the other guy. I'm pissed that my team made the wrong choice, that we kept the wrong guy, but he didn't, burn the place to the ground or say you moved on from him. That's fine. I got to interrupt you guys real quick. I'm looking at the TV right now. They're showing something with Belichick and Nick Saban, and they're kind of chit-chatting
An
about
NFL films thing that they did. It was on HBO. They talked for a long time.
Okay.
Together.
I saw this. This blew me away. I don't know if this could be one of those things that y'all look at me like, yeah, who cares? Because we've had this before, but I like
Who cares?
this.
Can I guess what it is?
Sure.
If I saw the same thing?
Sure.
Is it both of them on the sidelines in Cleveland?
No.
Okay.
I'd seen that, but since 2000, the year 2000, there have been 24 Super Bowls and 24 national championship football games. Of those 24, either Pete Carroll, Nick Saban, or Bill Belichick have been in 22 of them.
Oh my gosh.
Absolutely insane.
That is
and they probably
lunacy.
won like 12 of them.
15.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Oh my gosh.
15. I want to say it again. Since 2000, there have been 24 Super Bowls and 24 national championship football games. Pete Carroll, Nick Saban, or Bill Belichick, or some combination, have been in 22 of the 24, and they've won 15 of them. That's real stupid.
Ridiculous.
That's real stupid. Anyway, I just saw that up there. It reminded me of that.
To bring it back to Matthew Stafford and the Lions and everything, and one thing too with that, I think it's a different thing if you go back to that city, that town that you were with for a long time, and then you egg the crowd on, like you dunk a basketball off your Shaq, and then you go straight to the crowd and like flex or something. That you can get booed for. But
Sure.
I think that's not Matthew Stafford style. But Sliwa, I have a question for you. So me and Travis think about the Rams all the time. Travis has his Locked On Rams, and I help produce the Rams pre- and post-game show. So we're thinking about the Rams a lot. And we have high opinions of the Rams. And I think that we have seen them go through the stretch, and they've been playing so well. And so we maybe have a skewed view, some might say Homer's view of the Rams. So are we delusional to think that they should win this game?
Okay, I'm going to ask one question. Right now, is Vegas – let's use all the people, ESPN, Fox. Where's everybody siding? Are most people siding with the Lions right now?
Yes.
Or most people siding with the Rams?
About like 75-25.
Detroit is the consensus pick.
Is the favorite pick? Okay. So I don't have a dog in the fight. I'm actually, I'm a underdog story type of guy. Like, I like some of those underdog stories. I don't think you guys are being homers at all. I think the matchup, you're looking at a Rams franchise that won a Super Bowl, and the core is still there. I know there's a lot of different players there, but Sean McVey is there, Matthew Stafford is there, Aaron Donald is
Raheem
there,
Morris.
Cooper Kupp is there, Raheem Morris. You have, and you're going up against a Lions team that they don't have experience in this. I think naturally in any sport, you look at a team that has done it before, that is playing good football right now. I don't think you guys are being homers at all. I think a lot of people are saying, hey, if the Rams get in, that could be a very, very dangerous team. I agree. Now, how dangerous can they be? We'll find out. But if you could have picked any of these teams to play if you're the Rams, you would have picked the Lions. I think if the Lions could have avoided any of these teams to play, I think they would have wanted to avoid the Rams.
If they were going in to play the Dallas Cowboys this weekend, we're having a totally different conversation.
Completely
different. The Lions play the Packers.
No question. We're having a totally different conversation here. And here's the other thing. We'll talk with DeMarco about this coming up in just a few minutes. Since Kyren Williams came back from his injury, and the Rams have a multi-dimensional offense with passing and a running game, they have the best offense in football. It's not like you have to be a Rams insider to look. The numbers are telling you that since Kyren Williams has come back to the Rams and been healthy, the Rams offense is as good or better than every offense in the league. They score 30 points a game, give or take. That Matthew Stafford has only thrown one interception since then. That Kyren Williams is running for 100 yards a game. That they are just – Puka's been done Puka thing. Demarcus Robinson has gone to another level. Kupp is starting to look more like Kupp from a couple of years ago. That since Williams came back from the IR – they've been not just good, they've been better than everybody offensively. And that's why I don't think it's a good question, Em. I like it, us being homers or not, but they're just scoring a bunch of points. And any team that can score a bunch of points always has a pretty good chance, I think, Slee. And their defense is much better than anybody realizes. You don't know any of the unless you are a Rams person outside of Aaron Donald, you don't know, but they're a good defense.
Breaking news, Kalen DeBoer negotiating contract with Alabama to become the next head coach. This is just in from ESPN on SportsCenter right now.
They should have hired Lane Kiffin.
Yeah.
They should have hired Lane Kiffin. Look, Graham's back there doing backflips because his Ducks just got a slightly easier path through the Pacific Northwest. Yeah. Kalen DeBoer's a good coach. Whether he fits in Tuscaloosa, that's a whole nother question. We'll get there you go. DeMarco, all over again. DeMarco, a very, very proud Husky. He's going to join us next. Of course, we'll get you ready for the Rams and the Lions. It's coming up. It's Travis Slee, 710 ESPN. Your handy neighbors at Next Gen Air and Plumbing, back with 2 new ways to make your home comfort and safety easy and affordable. They've launched the Next Gen Rebate Hotline. That, of course, will help you pay as little as possible on new furnace and AC systems, water heaters, and more. The rebate experts, they're standing by right now to help you find every local, state, and federal rebate possible so you save your money, every penny that you can. Call Next Gen and the rebate hotline at 833-3-NEXT-GEN. Plus, for a limited time, 0 payments for 90 days on approved credit. You heard it right. No payments for 90 days on AC and furnace systems, water heaters, whole home water filtration systems, and indoor air quality systems. Ask how you can have no payments for 90 days when you call the Next Gen Rebate Hotline at 833-3-NEXT-GEN. That's 833-3-NEXGEN. The Genesis Invitational is coming here to Los Angeles. They're taking over Riviera from February 15th to the 18th, and you have a chance to win a spot in a dream foursome to play golf with me. Trust me, you're going to have a good time. I absolutely promise. That's coming up on January 22nd. Here's how you do it. You listen to our show. You're caller number 7. You win tickets and you get a chance to be entered in that dream foursome. Riviera is the best spot in town. You want to be a part of that Genesis Invitational, genesisinvitational.com. Don't forget, listen to the Travis Lee Show starting at 10 a.m. every single day. You're going to have fun, I promise.
Well, let me tell you something, brother. This Monday at Yalava at the 909 Sports Bar, the greatest sports bar on the planet, it's Monday Night Football, the playoff edition, and we're giving away a ton of money. Oh, yeah, that's right.
And special thanks to Bud Light, making our NFL playoff parties happen. Whoop, whoop.
Hey, John Ireland here, and I'm at my local Ralph's in front of the BB-Go display, and here's why. The Lakers and Ralph's are doing a sweepstakes, and you could win courtside seats to a Laker game. The question I get more than anything else is, how do I get in those courtside seats? This is how. You come to a local Ralph's, you spend at least $10 on BB-Go. Then you take your receipt and you send it to this web address, lakers.com/BB-Go sweeps. That's lakers.com/BB-Go sweeps. It's the contest runs from now through February 6th. So all you gotta do is go to Ralph's, get some BB-Go, and send in that receipt. Well, as long as I'm here. You can never have enough BB-Go.
BB-Go, the official game day snack of the Los Angeles Lakers.
All right, a reminder that we've been doing this all week. We're getting you ready for the Genesis Invitational at Riviera Country Club. The tournament, of course, starts on February 15th. Be sure to listen to this show, the Travis Lee Show, on Live Imaging Tuesday when we announce the grand prize winner who will be playing with me at Riviera, the Travis Dream Foursome at Riv on Monday, January 22nd. So the timing of this is just about right. There's a lot going on in the football world, especially in DeMarco Farr's football world, the Super Bowl champ. What's up, DeMarco? How you feeling?
Oh, I got a bat in my hand right now, Travis.
Oh, jeez.
I got my daughter's pink bat. It's a 27-inch. I'm ready to just break the whole room up.
Yeah, okay, so because Matthew Stafford's going back to Detroit, or is it the Kalen DeBoer news?
You know why I'm mad. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, so
This is why I don't trust coaches. I love this guy. He was a Husky through and through, and now he's going to Alabama?
Kalen DeBoer is in negotiations to become Alabama's head coach. I was going to ask you what you make of that, but I think I know what you make of that.
I think I get it.
See, I'm watching video. I'm watching the Minnesota Vikings beat up on the Detroit Lions, or at least, put guys in the hospital, which is great for us. So I've been doing that all day. Emily calls me and says, "Did you hear the news about DeBoer?" I'm like, "What? Man. He's going to Alabama." Are you kidding me? Really? Today? Oh. I can't begrudge a guy for taking a better job if they want to pay you more money or taking a different job. But my goodness, man, you were just all
you finally had it figured out in Seattle.
Yes, you were just all UW a week ago. No one knew about this, but oh God, this is just so hurtful. But I'm happy for him. Enjoy that. Enjoy the SEC. But good Lord, that's just terrible news.
Marco, I'm sorry. We are sorry for the news. Okay, well, I want to get to the Rams and the Lions coming up this weekend. So we are having just during the week we're having part of this conversation, and You as a former player, I want you to pretend for a quick second that you play for the Detroit Lions. And I want you to pretend for a quick second that your quarterback's Jared Goff, and you know all the storylines that come with the Rams and the Lions and Jared Goff's history in Los Angeles and how he got traded, and then the Rams went on to go win a Super Bowl with Matthew Stafford. If you were a player for the Detroit Lions, I'm just curious, how much of an impact do you think that has on some of the other players and playing for a guy like Jared Goff in a playoff game under these circumstances?
Oh, yeah, you're going to have his back, no doubt. I mean, he is your quarterback. You believe in him. I was just watching Jared. Jared has grown up a lot. Jared is a much better quarterback than he was here. They've got a great offense. They built the perfect system for him, 2,000-yard running backs. Amon-Ra St. Brown is one of the better receivers. He's uncoverable. A great offensive line, 2 good tackles. So this is everything Jared needs to be successful. And they believe in him. So if you know it's important to him and all the storylines, he's answering questions about Matthew Stafford coming back, all this stuff, you have your first playoff game in Detroit in 30-some-odd years, and he's your guy. You're going to go to battle for him. I mean, this is a bar fight, and somebody's picking on your quarterback. Everybody stands up. So you're going to get their best because it's Detroit, because it's Dan Campbell, and what you just mentioned, their quarterback is going to be under siege. So the last thing you want to do as a player is let that guy, twist in the wind or be on an island by himself. They're going to stand up for him. So this is not going to be easy for the Rams to go in there. They're going to believe in Jared Goff. They're going to believe they're going to give their best for him to support him and to try to win this football game in Detroit.
All right, so with that in mind, DeMarco, and I've asked you questions like this for the last 8 years, right? Since we've been doing the Ram stuff together, that the stories of it all, the emotional components of it all, the psychological components of it all, that I get it. He's a better quarterback. He's improved a lot. How much, if any, advantage does Sean McVey have knowing what he doesn't do well? Jared Goff does not do well. Knowing what he struggles with, or that was 3 years ago, there's not a lot there.
It's funny, man. I mean, it helps a lot because, X's and O's wise, what Jared doesn't like and what he likes defensively, what he likes, what kind of plays that would make him have success, what sort of looks on defense that gives him problems. But also the other stuff, McVey is going to be standing there about 25 yards away watching Jared and all his mannerisms. He can tell when this guy is like in his head or he's not feeling comfortable or this might be the great time to go after him. So all that stuff will play a part. But Jared Goff, like I said, has grown up. I'm sure he knows how to play the game a little bit better. And I don't mean the X's and O's part. I mean the pageantry of football, not giving away your tells or maybe faking you out. You may think you know something about me and you don't, and boom, it's in the end zone. So all that will play a part. This will be interesting, man. And what comes off the sideline. Sean McVey is not shy about, yelling at guys and talking to people on the sideline. So all this stuff will be interesting on game day. Oh, no doubt.
Okay, well, let's stop right there for a second. Is he going to chirp Goff?
Say again?
Is he going to chirp at him? Is he going to try to get in his head, like literally be chirping at him from the sidelines? Is that something that he would do?
He'll be talking. He'll be saying great stuff. Or if something doesn't work, he'll call out the play. You were trying to get this on us, weren't you, Trey?
Oh, okay.
You were trying to do X, Y, and Z, won't you, Jared? All that stuff. Defensively, he'll go at guys as well. He was yelling at guys in New York, if you're going to play cover 3, you better play cover 3. I'm going to throw it over the top of your head, and he'll do it. He's that sort of guy, you know what I mean? So this will be fun on game day.
Let's go.
Yeah, Trav wanted to hear something like McVey would say, that you're a bum, Goff.
No, honestly, that's what I thought he was talking about. This is much better. Like, quite frankly, the thing that is, and maybe this is just the psychology of Travis Rogers, but you know what scares the hell out of me? I know more about this than you do. I know what you're trying to do, and it ain't gonna work. You know what I mean? That's the part that would, not that you suck. I can deal with that, but I know what you're trying to. That's never gonna work. That's the part that would freak me out.
There's gonna be stuff that they do that Raheem Morris will throw at Jared Goff that is straight out of the New England playbook from in the Super Bowl. Stuff that he couldn't figure out way back in the day, or zero blitzes. Stuff that Jared Goff absolutely hates, but Dan Campbell, Detroit, they know what they're doing. You know what scares me the most about Jared Goff this week? him moving the pocket, him rolling out. I mean, he is really good at throwing darts. The same stuff we used to love about him here in L.A., he's doing there, but just a little bit better.
DeMarco Farr taking some time to join us here on the Travis and Sliwa Show. Obviously, the Rams and the Lions playing Sunday night. DeMarco, let's be optimistic here for a quick second. Rams win this game. What does it look like? What is in your – and I know there's no such thing as a perfect game or something along those lines, but seeing how they got themselves back in the playoff picture, put themselves in a position where they're in a playoff game, for them to beat the Lions, play out what that looks like over the course of 60 minutes.
Aaron Donald absolutely has the game of his life and brings Kobe Turner with him and Byron Young as well. You're stopping the run. David Montgomery and Gibbs, those two backs, they're both over 1,000 yards and they're tough. I mentioned that offensive line. So if you hold those guys to, say, under 100 combined, which is almost impossible, but if you do, you force the game onto Jared Goff's shoulders, and he has to drop back to 7 to beat you, which opens you up for Aaron Donald absolutely tearing a new one of your offensive line. So if the Rams are going to win, we're going to be leaving Detroit talking about Aaron's greatness. We're going to leave Detroit talking about Matthew Stafford being one of the better quarterbacks that we've ever seen, because they can also rush the passer in Detroit. They're going to have the benefit of crowd noise. Look, I have been up all day, like I said, watching Detroit film. And that dude, Aiden Hutchinson.
He's a monster.
Did you guys talk about the all-white and all-black team when that came out?
I know what you're talking about, but we have not talked about it.
Okay, who was the guy that brought that up? Running back.
I don't remember, but it was one of these. If you had
Mendenhall, I think.
Was it Mendenhall?
Yeah.
I'm in the process of putting together my all Middle Eastern team, so I'm working on that right now.
All-white and all-black team.
Mina did an all-AAPI team.
Right. I told this to JB Log. I said, look, if you are creating an all-white team, you guys got some hell of a pass rushers, and Aiden Hutchinson is one of them. He can get after you, and he lines up everywhere. So, look, if you control him, and he's going to have the benefit of a raucous crowd, so he's going to get off. He is going to eat, and he's on an absolute heater. I think he's got 5 sacks his last 2 games. So if you can somehow keep him off Matthew Stafford, he will tear that defense apart. But that's a big if going into this week.
I don't know if this is a black or a white thing, but cup or cone when you go to the ice cream parlor?
Cup or cone when I go to the ice cream?
Yeah, so it was an Ask Slee earlier today that when Slee goes to get his ice cream, does he get it in the cone or does he get it in the cup?
Ooh. Oh, what'd you say, Slee?
I do that waffle cone. I don't know if you like the waffle cone there. It's just it seems like the perfect place to hold your ice cream, you know?
Okay, you strike me as the type that walks while you eat ice cream.
Yeah, I'll walk. Yeah, I got no problem. Yeah.
No, you're doing it wrong.
I'm walking around. Hey, couple drops on the pavement, it happens.
You eat ice cream with a spoon, don't you?
No. If I'm in a cone, then it's just I look like a monster out there. But no, I'm going in there. Now, if I have it in a cup, obviously I'm using a spoon.
He uses his hands.
My faith in you is restored. Yes, the proper way to eat ice cream is with a cone and with no spoon, and you stand in one spot while you do it.
I jog.
I have a hard time, and not just because you've been on a fitness kick lately, and ice cream I don't think is part of your fitness kick, but like you're a big guy. Like you holding a little dainty ice cream cone is a very odd visual for me. Like I would picture you'd have to have the big ass waffle cone filled with hot fudge and ice cream and whipped cream.
I get the smallest cone and just give me the triple scoop. So I'm that kid.
I could see DeMarco with the sample spoon too, the small one, just kind of slowly.
DeMarco, have you seen the movie Lilo and Stitch?
Of course.
So you know in that part of the movie where they're driving like the alien plane through Hawaii, and then the big fat guy has the ice cream cone that gets knocked over by the plane. Do you know what I'm talking about? Yeah, I'm just picturing that right now. He has like a triple, quadruple scoop.
What sort of flavors are we doing in that big cone you got?
You know, I can't decide, but I always got to start with chocolate. That's number one.
Sure.
And then I'll go to a strawberry because that's like my favorite flavor. And then I'll let my daughter pick the third one.
Ooh, that's a good call.
She likes to go with the sherbet, and I don't really like the sherbet, but she asked, so I'll do it.
Okay, I got one question then on that, DeMarco. Are you getting samples even though you already know what you want, what you don't want? You're just getting samples just to get them?
Oh, absolutely. Of course. I love Costco for the same reason.
Oh, yeah.
I
What is that?
I will go aisle to aisle looking for free stuff. Are you kidding me?
What is that, a salmon cake? I'm not buying those, but I'll have 4 while I walk through the store. We're going to do that for sure.
Take my jacket off, come back again.
All right,
Turn the hat around, come back again.
Real quick, Emily's telling me I got to go, but this is important. This has been a divisive topic here on the Travis Slee Show so far today. Mint chocolate chip ice cream, yay or nay?
Yay. I'm all in.
Okay. See, Jorge?
Toothpaste, dog.
Yeah, Jorge, he's not wrong, but he says it's basically Colgate.
Come on, Jorge.
2 things can be true at the same time. He'll be on the sidelines wild card weekend in Detroit. Kickoff a little bit after 5 o'clock. DeMarco Farr will be there.
Thank you,
my
brother.
friend.
My guys, talk to you soon. All right.
You got it. Again, DeMarco came in hot because Kalen DeBoer is going to be the new head coach of the Alabama Crimson Tide. He's leaving Washington. And as a Husky, DeMarco's like, we finally got it figured out. This guy's put together. Until they got smoked by Michigan, they'd won, I want to say, 22 games in a row. Pretty good football coach. But now Alabama's got another good. By the way, good luck replacing Nick Saban. That does not sound like something that I'm dying to do. Factor Cap is coming up next. It's Travis Slee, 710 ESPN. The top drivers on the NASCAR Cup Series and Mexico Series will race at America's best venues, surrounded by the best in entertainment. It is going to be, well, the best. The Busch Light Clash at the Coliseum, coming to LA on February 4th. I've been at the previous 2. It is awesome. It is racing, it is entertainment, and more than anything else, it is just a great day out at the Coliseum. You can get your tickets right now at NASCARclash.com, and I'll see you there.
Well, let me tell you something, brother. This Monday at Yalava at the 909 Sports Bar, the greatest sports bar on the planet, it's Monday Night Football, the playoff edition, and we're giving away a ton of money. Oh, yeah, that's right.
And special thanks to Bud Light, making our NFL playoff parties happen. Whoop, whoop.
The Genesis Invitational is coming here to Los Angeles. They're taking over Riviera from February 15th to the 18th, and you have a chance to win a spot in a dream foursome to play golf with me. Trust me, you're going to have a good time. I absolutely promise. That's coming up on January 22nd. Here's how you do it. You listen to our show. You're caller number 7. You win tickets, and you get a chance to be entered in that dream foursome. Riviera is the best spot in town. You want to be a part of that Genesis Invitational, genesisinvitational.com. Don't forget, listen to the Travis Slee Show starting at 10 a.m. every single day. You're going to have fun, I promise.
Hey, John Ireland here, and I'm at my local Ralph's in front of the BB-Go display, and here's why. The Lakers and Ralph's are doing a sweepstakes, and you could win courtside seats to a Laker game. The question I get more than anything else is, how do I get in those courtside seats? This is how. You come to a local Ralph's, you spend at least $10 on BB-Go. Then you take your receipt and you send it to this web address, lakers.com/BBGO sweeps. That's lakers.com/BBGO sweeps. It's the contest runs from now through February 6th. So all you gotta do is go to Ralph's, get some BB-Go, and send in that receipt. Well, as long as I'm here. You can never have enough BB-Go.
BB-Go, the official game day snack of the Los Angeles Lakers.
Everything I've said is a cap, but I'm going to go fact.
First of all, it's not a cap. It's
No, it
just
is a cap.
Welcome to Factor Cap.
Hey guys,
Hey,
I felt so bad about being the one to break the news to DeMarco. I needed him to know ahead of time so he's not shocked on the air. But
that would have been better. Been like, what? I get his real reaction with Travis saying, "What do you think?" Of
Okay, well then I made a bad producing decision.
No, it's okay. It's okay. It's just thought of right now.
But okay, so I was browsing on my Twitter, and I'm on kind of like a film Twitter area, and I see people's reviews, and then someone put up a review that kind of like surprised me. So I'm gonna read the review. It's for this movie called Bottoms. But this person put out 6 movies that deserved to get Oscar nominations for Best Picture and 6 movies that did not. And Bottoms happened to be on one that this person believed should get an Oscar nomination for Best Picture. And this is the review. It said, this movie has the razor-sharp edge of Heathers, the satiric chops of Network, and the comic raunchiness of Superbad. To some, this may look like nothing more than a high school hijinks story of 2 unpopular lesbians who start a girls' fight club to get dates, but it does what so many more pretentious art films fail to do, entertain. The movie is outrageous and surreal, yet it still makes you care about the emotions of the characters, possibly the funniest movie of the year. So he thinks this movie is the funniest movie of the year. And if you thought that, I did not have this on my bingo card, okay, of this person writing this review. Who do you guys think this person is that wrote this?
Who
you guys all know who he is.
Who is it? A film critic?
It is not a film critic, technically. You guys all know who he is.
Steve Mason.
No.
That's what I was going to go.
Yeah, I mean,
LZ Granderson.
It is Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Oh, okay.
Wrote that review of Bottoms. He wants Bottoms to be nominated for Best Picture, and I could not be more behind this. I am so happy.
I just can't understand a fight club to get dates for lesbians.
Don't question it. It's a weird movie.
It sounds just really.
Do you want to see it now?
It's a female fight club.
I mean, a female fight club to get dates. That's wild to me.
Yes, it's a great movie, and I would suggest it to everybody. But this got me thinking that I know people know a lot about Kareem. I know that he's been in movies. I know that he loves movies, but I don't know. This still shocked me. So people can still surprise you. Travis Fettercap.
Absolutely. And honestly, that Kareem surprised you doesn't surprise me. Kareem is a deep thinker, right? Like
multifaceted.
Absolutely. Kareem has interests in a million different things. Like typically when you think of an athlete, much less one of the greatest to have ever done it, you think singular focus, all of these sorts of things that they don't have a billion different interests. Kareem is the exception, right? Kareem is an incredibly deep person. But yeah, there are some people that if they came in with something like that, I'd be like, wait, what? But Kareem's not on the list.
All right, Greg, can people still surprise you?
Oh, 100%. I mean, if you're not surprising us daily, that's you kind of are doing something wrong. Like Sliwa being in Kathmandu is now something that surprises me when he always comes from some different country out of nowhere. Sure. He's not in San Diego right now. I have no idea where you actually are.
I've never seen that background before.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a new background. I'm watching the YouTube.
No. That's part of it. Is I always have the same background everywhere I go.
Oh,
so
yeah.
Would come with a green screen.
Then you just assume like, oh no, he's at the same place. I'm never at the same place, guys.
But you're in Dubai and you're swinging from one of those from hotel to hotel, taking out the foreign prime minister.
Jeez, going to assassinations right out of the gate. Listen,
he's a spy.
He could have been trying to steal the plans to the electrical plant,
Kremlin?
right? Killings.
Trying to figure out how Dubai makes so much money. I mean, there's plenty of reasons why I'd be there. Fact as well. I think, look, sometimes people surprise you because you just don't know them that well, and as you get to know them, you're like, oh, okay, I didn't know this about this person or that about the person. And even people you think you know really well, it's like, okay, hey, that's interesting that their personality trait, they have interest in this or they don't have interest in that. I agree with the guys. Yeah, I think it's fact on this.
Jorge?
Fact from Alan doing his traveling, from Bergman getting down at the Sunset Room dancing.
Yeah.
That was a surprise. That's a great example.
Carlos, another one that, is a really good dancer. And then the biggest surprise for me, at least, was when we were filming the ice skating thing, Cappy. Just going around the rink.
So
I'm like, man.
Yeah, by the way.
And then these guys, Cody
skating?
and... Yeah, ice skating.
You can skate, Greg?
I can.
Yeah.
Really?
I went ice skating when I was in Mammoth 2 weeks ago, and it was good.
Yeah.
And then we go roller skating all the time now on the weekends, and I've just realized I'm an excellent roller skater.
Yeah, Cody DeAndre.
I love that.
When I was on the ice, Cody and DeAndre's like, I didn't know you had that in your bag. I'm like, I guess I've been roller skating my whole life too.
That's awesome. I want you guys to be like a tandem figure skating team now, like
100%.
Jorge and Bergman.
I'm down.
No, Jorge, him on the ice skates, filming all that was more
And
impressive.
steady, my man. No gimbal. Steady.
That was more impressive than Cappy skating.
He wants credit for his art. Like, I don't have a gimbal. I got a steady hand on these skates.
That was legitimately incredible.
That's great.
All right, so we were talking about Iron Claw earlier in the show, and I think also like just an increasing thing amongst my age group of men in Silver Lake and Echo Park, etc. They're all rocking mullets now. There's a big mullet renaissance happening in the world. So you think, again, it could be a wig, it could be you could regrow your hair. You think that you could rock a mullet. Al, Factor Cap.
Cap, I'm the opposite. I have plenty of hair on the sides and the back. I have nothing coming up.
That's called a skullet.
Towards the
Is that what it's called?
Uh-huh.
Nothing coming up towards the top there. Cap, not only I physically can't do it, and even if I had the physical capability to do it, I don't think I'm the mullet guy. I don't think I'm in that department.
Berg?
Fact. I do think that I
You have your hair.
I have hair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like you still have a good head of hair.
Right.
Yeah.
If I
that.
let it grow, if I let it grow, and I can absolutely get a mullet, and I can get a big Jufro too.
Greg, show us your hair real quick. Just take it off.
Yeah, he's got good hair.
Yeah, I got good hair.
This
is good. Strong hair. But
you look more like Chris Taylor when you take that hat off than you do with it on. And you look like it with it on. I'm like, and then you're like, whoa, that's Chris Taylor. Yeah.
It's some good hair. But if I let it grow and it will go down, if you saying you can't rock something, it's just about confidence. If you walk around with the confidence, you can rock it. Whether or not people like it, that doesn't matter. Because
but I want like a fro before I want a mullet.
This will go this way. It will go out and up.
The answer is fact. I would like to. I have very few real regrets in my life. One of them is that I always had a super conservative traditional haircut. I never did anything other than in college.
That's because you're growing up in the 50s.
Well, pretty much, right?
Jesus.
It kind of was. But in college, I
God.
shaved my head one time, right? Because the freshman on the baseball team, everybody. Other than that, I've had this haircut. But now I don't have any hair left. Like, I wish I would have goofed around and had a mullet or had one of those stupid Duran Duran haircuts or something from the 80s that was of its time. I don't have
seagulls.
I don't have that picture that you look back on and go, oh my God, I can't believe I cut my hair like that.
How's the back?
I don't,
thinking right out the gate. Trev.
I don't
How's the
have
back
anything
right
like that.
Yeah, my friend Adam used to always tell me, if I was thinking about a haircut, he was like, this is the time in your life to do the stupidest haircut you possibly can.
Yes.
Because you're not going to do it when you're 40.
100%.
You're going to do it when you're 26, 7, 8, you know?
Exactly.
Jorge, what do you think?
I've had members of my family being hairstylists. I've had buddies that are barbers. I've had every haircut you could think of. I've had designs on my head. I've had a full hawk. I've had the flat top. I've been blonde. I've had all kinds of stuff with my hair.
You had a perm?
No perm, because I
try it.
Yeah, I should grow it out and have curls.
Okay, I kind of need to see Jorge in a perm now. That's kind of something that I'm going to
come
need
into
to see.
America perm.
Exactly.
So it's like we've seen Jorge put out a picture of him when he had the bleach tips.
Yeah.
He sent that out. I think I've told you before, but I had bleach tips, but I made the tops light brown, so it was light brown and then dark brown below. That was how stupid it was. Like I have the picture somewhere, but it's very.
But that's the thing. It's stupid in retrospect. It's stupid at the time, but no harm,
it's
no
fine
foul,
when
and
you're
you did
20.
it. It's great. Now you eventually end up with
no hair.
Something like
this
this.
is forever.
Well, you might be lucky. There's a small subset of men that you could live to be 100 years old and you could still have a full head of hair. There's not many.
Don't listen to your barber, because my barber growing up was like, man, your hair is so thick, you're never going to go bald. 10 years later, I'm bald.
My mom's side of the family, the men on my mom's side of the family, all have full head of hair still.
Yeah, that's it's your mother's dad is typically the tell.
Yeah. Full head of hair his
the
entire
tell.
life.
Yeah,
Grandpa had a full head of hair. I'm telling you. Everybody was telling me I'm never going to go bald.
You're the exception that proves the rule. An Ohtani thing that we haven't talked about in a while kind of came true earlier this week. That's coming up next. It's Travis Lee, 710 ESPN. Hey, is your car ready for service or that general maintenance that you've been putting off? Why not head into your Valvoline Instant Oil Change, home of the 15-minute drive-through oil change? I guarantee you there's one right around the corner from you, right? Because for over 30 years, Valvoline has provided quick and convenient automotive maintenance services for busy people like us. You don't have to get out of your car. At Valvoline, you stay in your car nice and safe, nice and relaxed, stare at your phone, close your eyes, listen to some music, whatever you want, while the expert technicians make sure that your ride is at its absolute best. You're in and out of there. It's like a NASCAR crew taking your car and making sure that it runs exactly the way that it's supposed to. Oil changes, tire rotations, transmission care, and a whole lot more. Just pull up, drive in, and drive out in just about 15 minutes. And yep, it is about 15 minutes. You have 15 minutes. Go do it right now. Over 80 locations ready to help you get your ride ready for the road in no time. So visit SoCalOilChange.com for locations and game-winning coupons off of your next Valvoline Instant Oil Change.
Hey, John Ireland here, and I'm at my local Ralph's in front of the BB-Go display, and here's why. The Lakers and Ralph's are doing a sweepstakes, and you could win courtside seats to a Laker game. The question I get more than anything else is, how do I get in those courtside seats? This is how. You come to a local Ralph's, you spend at least $10 on BB-Go. Then you take your receipt and you send it to this web address, Lakers.com/BB-Go sweeps. That's Lakers.com/BB-Go sweeps. The contest runs from now through February 6th. So all you gotta do is go to Ralph's, get some BB-Go, and send in that receipt. Well, as long as I'm here. You can never have enough BB-Go.
BB-Go, the official game day snack of the Los Angeles Lakers.
All right, guys, it's officially back. Fifth Row Fridays presented by BB-Go.
That's the official game day snack of the Lakers, by the way. And this is the best thing we give away. Fifth row seats to a Laker game. How many times do people come up to us and say, hey, give me Laker tickets?
Yes.
We don't have them. I don't even have them, but you can win them if you listen every day.
And these seats are better than the seats that you and Michael have, right?
15 rows better.
Yeah.
Michael and I are like row 20. So here's how you win. You listen every day to all the shows and take notes. If you can answer 5 questions about what happened on the show that day, you're eligible to win.
And don't forget, on Fridays, your chance to call in all 5 right answers, and you are in the fifth row at Crypto.com Arena for a Lakers game.
For free!
The Genesis Invitational is coming here to Los Angeles. They're taking over Riviera from February 15th to the 18th, and you have a chance to win a spot in a dream foursome to play golf with me. Trust me, you're going to have a good time. I absolutely promise. That's coming up on January 22nd. Here's how you do it. You listen to our show. You're caller number 7. You win tickets, and you get a chance to be entered in that dream foursome. Riviera is the best spot in town. You want to be a part of that Genesis Invitational, genesisinvitational.com. Don't forget, listen to the Travis Lee Show starting at 10 a.m. every single day. You're going to have fun, I promise.
That is my Matthew Stafford voice. It was also my Jared Goff voice back before they made the trade.
Goff.
It has been my Sean McVey. Oh, Sean McVey. It's been.
So
it's
anyone
been
you love.
Oh, Aaron Donald.
Is it Shohei Ohtani too? Like,
Shohei Ohtani.
Will Ja Morant return?
All of those
Ja
guys. If I would have been doing this show when I was a kid, it would have been, George Brett. Oh, Steve Garvey. It would have been all of those for sure.
Aaron Donald.
Yeah, absolutely. It is a Bud Light Football Friday on 710 as we get you pumped up for Super Wildcard Weekend. Don't miss Rams All Access. That's tonight at 7 o'clock with JB Long and the Super Bowl champ, DeMarco Farr, who we just joined a couple of minutes ago. This weekend, be sure to crack open, like me, a Bud Light. Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Pick up a Bud Light at your local convenience store today for Super Wildcard Weekend. Bud Light Football Friday all day long on 710 ESPN. So ESPN came out with at least the beginning of their Sunday Night Baseball schedule, right? And the Dodgers, they open in Korea against the Padres.
First 2 games.
Both of those are on ESPN.
3 a.m.
Right? By the way,
Yeah.
100%.
I'm awake.
I'm awake too. First Sunday Night Baseball game of the season, Dodgers. They've announced that the Dodgers will be on against the Yankees and a few others. Now, the Dodgers being on Sunday Night Baseball is nothing new, right? The Dodgers are on Sunday Night Baseball a lot. It's the Dodgers. Dodger Stadium's cool to put on TV, all of those things. But obviously the Ohtani of it all is a whole nother level. But Al, you and I have been talking about this a lot, and we kind of go back to it. Once you got to the All-Star break, it's like, okay, Ohtani, see you later. We'll see you next year, because they weren't playing in any games that were important. He was awesome, but you weren't playing in important games. We're about to get to see arguably the greatest player to have ever lived playing fun baseball games. We've only seen him do it, how many times did Japan play in the World Baseball Classic? 6, 7? So we've seen it 6 or 7 times.
In the final game.
And in the right. So now we're going to get to see him play in 162-ish games that are fun and interesting. I don't think the Dodgers are going to be in a pennant race because I think they're going to run away with it, but come October, first week of October, nothing but important games. We've never seen it before, and that's why the Dodgers are going to be all over everything from now until he's gone.
It's unseen, right? And I know we know what Ohtani is. We know that he's the most valuable player. We know what he could do with his bat. We know what he could do when he's healthy and when he's pitching. We know all that. The problem is everything that we've seen so far from Ohtani is really, like you said, All-Star game comes – yeah, we'll see highlights on Twitter, or we'll see highlights because he got 10 strikeouts in a doubleheader and then hit 2 home runs at night or whatever.
That's not a euphemism, by the way. That happened.
Literally, that happened.
Multiple times. I think multiple.
But I think that's what, it's not Ohtani. There's a lot of excitement to come because we're curious what that's also going to look like in August, in September, and then – October, we don't even have to get to October yet. We know that eventually is going to be there, but at least there's not 2 months of no paying attention to Ohtani anymore. From when the season starts to when the season ends, Ohtani is obviously going to be delivering.
So with Dodger baseball, you don't hear Dodger baseball on 710 very often because AM's 570 has the rights to the Dodgers. So we usually I get a thing called a coexist request. When they're on Sunday Night Baseball, we get 2 on Saturday and 2 on Sunday. And we get them usually just throughout the year. They just come in. Sometimes we do them all, sometimes we don't. And I don't hear from them till mid-season.
Yeah.
If there happens to be a big game, Dodgers, Padres, something like that. I got it 2 months before the season started. I got it in December.
Wow.
That's awesome.
When that news came out,
awesome.
When that news came out, I got an email that said, all right, so these are the games. You only have a few. Do you want these games?
Yes.
Well, yes, immediately, but then you have to start looking at schedules and the NBA Finals and all that kind of thing. But it's very much
combo play.
It's how important. It's how important. That's funny. You made me laugh. It's how important it is to the network. It's important to all of this. Is that they're saying, hey, we're giving you 3-4 months to find out how often you want to have Shohei Ohtani on your air.
Everybody wants them on their air as often as possible. ESPN, Fox, us, them. I mean, it's box office every time. But when the Angels are playing, I don't know, who's the best team in the America? The Blue Jays, let's say, a really good team, right? Yeah. Or the Astros. Okay, cool. there's no skin in the game. You just want to see if he's going to pop a few. If he's pitching, you want to see if he, how long does he go? How many strikeouts does he get? But
the game we went to, that was just to see him pitch.
Just to see him pitch.
It's a game that's going to eventually mean nothing.
It means nothing to anybody other than him. Right? It's just to build his legacy, to build the back of his baseball card, or I guess in the modern parlance, Greg, the baseball reference page, right? Yeah. To see how many bold numbers he can get. But now there's so much more that, again, it's almost the same, but a little bit different. The Dodgers are going to win this game this division by, at the low end, 15, and I don't think it's going to be 15. Yeah, it could be 25. Yeah. It could easily be 20. So there's not going to be this, hey, this is a big game. Is Ohtani going to get 2 hits tonight? We're going to have to wait for October until that, but you're virtually assured of getting that at least.
I got a question. I think it's probably a bigger conversation, but do you think this isn't the comp for it, but anytime a team is as stacked as the Dodgers are right now, they're stacked, right? They got every big name you could possibly get. They did what they did in free agency. How much does that allure change with Ohtani for opposing teams? And what I mean by that is, look, Ohtani is unbelievable, but the way you were watching Ohtani in the past was he's playing for an Angel team. Clearly, they're always an underdog because they're not good. Now Ohtani's on a team that you can't get any more stacked. Do people's, not perception, but the Dodgers are clearly going to become the team that everybody is trying to beat. If you said pick the Dodgers or the field, I would pick the Dodgers. Does anything change with Shohei in his first year, in his second year?
You mean like people rooting against him?
Not technically even rooting. They're rooting against this team that has absolutely everything and is favored to win it all. They went out and got all the guys. I just wonder if that changes at all, because it's also he's going from an Angels team where you knew they weren't going to do anything.
You almost felt a little sorry for him being stuck with the Angels.
To a Dodgers team where they're winning 100 games a year, and by the way, here's 68 of the $70 million. Go spend it somewhere else.
So I want to answer that because I think it's a really interesting question, and I think that the answer is going to change based on a couple of different things. We'll do that coming up in just a bit. Plus, can we just put an end to talking about the in-season tournament? I'm so done with it, and I'll explain why. That's coming up next. It's Travis Lee, 710 ESPN. And for those who get it done, Grainger offers high-quality supplies and solutions for every industry, as well as access to product specialists who have the knowledge and experience to answer your toughest questions. Plus, their commitment to being your safety partner can help you keep your facility safe and your people safer. Call Grainger.com or just stop by.
Coming up today.
All right, guys, it's officially back. Fifth Row Fridays presented by BBGO.
That's the official game day snack of the Lakers, by the way. And this is the best thing we give away. Fifth row seats to a Laker game. How many times do people come up to us and say, hey, give me Laker tickets?
Yes.
We don't have them. I don't even have them, but you can win them if you listen every day.
And these seats are better than the seats that you and Michael have, right?
15 rows better.
Yeah.
Michael and I are like row 20. So here's how you win. You listen every day to all the shows and take notes. If you can answer 5 questions about what happened on the show that day, you're eligible to win.
And don't forget, on Fridays, your chance to call in all 5 right answers, and you are in the fifth row at Crypto.com Arena for a Lakers game.
For free!
The Genesis Invitational is coming here to Los Angeles. They're taking over Riviera from February 15th to the 18th, and you have a chance to win a spot in a Dream Force.
Well, let me tell you something, brother. This Monday at Yalava at the 909 Sports Bar, the greatest sports bar on the planet, it's Monday Night Football, the playoff edition, and we're giving away a ton of money. Oh, yeah, that's right.
And special thanks to Bud Light, making our NFL playoff parties happen. Whoop, whoop.
weekend. Super wild card weekend. It's the Rams. There's
You getting after it? You gonna have a few on Saturday, or are you trying to prep for Sunday?
Have a lot on Sunday.
Can it be both?
Sure.
I don't know if I'm going to get after it necessarily because I got a lot going on. Emily, you might not know this about me, but I got a lot of baseball games I got to attend this
crazy.
weekend.
Lots of family to take care of.
I've got people.
Oh,
in my
you got
life.
a family. You care about
them.
them.
Have a life. Oh.
I do care about them, and I'm going to go support them. But
I need to be a dad.
Football is important too, and having a few with football is kind of like my thing. It's one of my favorite things.
What life's made for.
You know what else I'm really good at, Emily? Going out and playing golf and having a good time too. All week long, we've been getting you ready for the Genesis Invitational at Riviera Country Club. Tournament starts on February 15th. Be sure to be listening next Tuesday, the Travis Slee Show, live imaging Tuesday, when we announce the grand prize winner, who will be playing with me, the Dream Foursome at Riv on Monday, January 22nd. And Slee, like you said, I like to boast occasionally. I'm fun to play golf with. Whoever gets to play golf with me will have a good time.
Why are you such a good time to play golf?
Because I play fast. I have good stories. I don't take it very seriously. I can play reasonably well.
And he's hammered.
I can keep up.
Do you give pointers?
No. And if you ask me, sure. Okay. Golf etiquette 101, never offer someone a tip unless they ask for it. If you ask me, hey, how do you hit that shot? I can offer it to you. Or, hey, man, I can't figure out how to do this.
Like,
do
what
you
would
know
you
how
do
to
here? Or...
Yeah, fine.
Now I have to. If we ever play, Trav, the first thing I'm going to do is start offering tips for you.
Yeah, but see, I know what that's worth. I don't have to worry about like that. The worst thing is,
I have clubs in my car.
When somebody who's terrible. Oh, you had your right elbow inside, dude. You can't get the ball in the air.
Yeah, that's
what are you doing? Giving me tips? You've got two left shoes on, and you're telling me what to do. Yeah, that's not going to happen.
Also, speaking of like football weekend, we have NFL Network up here in the studio, and it keeps on showing they're doing a lot of Bill Belichick things. They had Steven Belichick and now Brian Belichick up there. What do you think those guys are going to do now that their dad's no longer with the organization?
Those guys will go to whatever the next stop on the Belichick train is.
Right.
If that's in Atlanta, what is it? Brian and
It's Brian and Steven.
Brian and Steven will be decked out head to toe Falcons gear.
Do you think Bill will bring them along?
I would imagine if he wants them to come along, they're going to come along.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, you're going to tell Bill Belichick, hey, we'd love to hire you, but you got to leave your boys at home? I don't think so.
Happening.
I don't think that's going to happen. I want to go back to your question, Slee. It's an interesting question that because Ohtani went from a crap organization to the team that is, arguably the most well-run, not the best winning, but the most well-run organization, and he's got $700 million and basically created this vacuum where all the good players are coming to LA.
And it's not just the Ohtani piece, right? It's everything that happened after that.
Oh, for sure.
It's because Ohtani allowed that to happen by deferring the money.
So will the people's perception of, hey, man, God, I wish this guy were on a great team. Why can't the Angels get it together? Why can't they have him to... Man, this guy, look at what they win every night. This isn't even any fun to watch. I think it'll happen, but it's going to take a lot of time. For instance, next year, even if you're not a Dodger fan, you can be rooting against the Dodgers. You want to watch this guy do his thing.
Of course you do.
You want to watch him hit his home runs, and he's not the least bit unlikable. He's an incredibly likable guy. So I think it's going to take the way it could happen is if the Dodgers win 115 games and just blow through the playoffs and win the World Series. And next year they come in again and they win 109 games and they blow through the playoffs and they go to another World Series. That if it just becomes this is unfair and he's the reason it's unfair, then maybe you look at it a certain way. But if they're still kind of what they are and sometimes they're good, sometimes they're not in the playoffs, then no. I think he's just too likable of a dude.
It's not a good comp at all, but I think of we used to root for LeBron when he was in Cleveland. Everybody did, right? That there was this
underdog.
It was an underdog story. It was, man, the Cavs. When's the last time Cleveland has won anything? When's the last time they've won a championship? And it was easy to root for that story. And before you knew it, LeBron's getting to the NBA Finals. I forgot how old he was, but they're going up against Tim
16.
Duncan and the San Antonio Spurs. Might as well have been 16.
Right.
But that famous quote of Tim Duncan telling him after the game, he's like, hey, thanks for letting us get one. And he's basically saying, like, you're going to own the league here for the next 10, 15 years or whatever the case is. But when he left that team and went to Miami, everyone, and I know the circumstances are not the same, and I'm not trying to compare apples to apples, but he then went on a team where overnight LeBron James became, hey, I don't know if I like this guy. And I'm not telling you that's Ohtani. What I'm telling you is that Ohtani's going from a franchise that was so irrelevant to, like you mentioned, he's joining the Dodgers team with Freddie, with Mookie, with Bueller coming back, with Yamamoto, with Glasnow. He's joining a team that, it's almost like, well, how the hell do you compete against this? But I think that's a good point. Unless they come out the gate and have tremendous success and win a World Series right out the gate, maybe that churns over time.
If it becomes to the point where the sport is not competitive, the way it was with Golden State with Kevin Durant, where it's like this is a joke. There's no even point to watch this. Then I don't think it'll happen. The reason I don't think it's going to happen, baseball doesn't work like that. The Dodgers are not going to win 5 World Series in a row. The Dodgers are not even going to go to the World Series 5 years in a row. They might not go 2 or 3 years in a row. They're going to go because they just have too many good guys. But you can't stack the deck like that the way you can with the basketball. Durant, Curry, Thompson, Green. Come on, man.
Like Iguodala, Livingston, go down the list.
There's no counter to that, right? Unless Draymond kicks people in the groin, and they just
get a quick little groin kick, groin shot.
Exactly. And speaking of the NBA, you know what I'm done with, Al?
What's that?
The in-season tournament.
Why?
Because there has been so much misdirected attention to this thing for one reason and one reason only.
Okay.
The Lakers won it. If any team in the league other than the Lakers had won that tournament, we would have turned the page and moved on from it. So, but hey, the in-season tournament, is this why they're struggling? They look so good in the in-season tournament. The in-season tournament, what are they going to do here? Why can't they rediscover the groove there? Guys, they played well for a couple of weeks at exactly the right time against some pretty crappy teams or teams like Phoenix that were missing some of their guys. The in-season tournament was just a random occurrence of events where they caught it at the right time. They happened to be playing well. The format isn't why they're struggling right now. Having to get up real high isn't why they're struggling right now. They're struggling because they just aren't very good. They're not terrible. They're not great. They're a 500 basketball team. It had nothing to do with the IST. Can we just pretend that never happened and try to figure out how to get better from there?
I don't think we can. And I think, listen, has it been blown out of proportion? Of course it has. What I think hasn't helped the Lakers is by the time that in-season tournament was done, they were 14-9. And they were fighting for that number 3 spot in the Western Conference with Denver. And then here we sit today after Phoenix was up another 35 points at the end of the first quarter. They're 5-11 since the in-season tournament. I don't think listen, maybe people want to talk about the in-season tournament. I don't. I certainly don't. You and I have already gave our opinion. I thought the in-season tournament was fun. Sure. I thought it was different. I thought it was unique. I didn't have any issues with it. But I think the problem is, and why it does go back to that, they played so great for a window, and then they were 5 games over 500. And now they're so far the other way. They're a game below 500. They're in 10th place in the Western Conference. They've gone 5-11 since then. That, yes, it's been blown out of proportion, but I think everyone's trying to figure out what the hell happened. And maybe they are just an average team, like you mentioned. But the extreme highs and lows through just 39 games with that in-season tournament in the middle of it, I think it did throw everybody off.
Why? It's entirely explainable. They played bad teams. Or New
Orleans isn't okay.
New Orleans isn't a bad team, but them beating New Orleans is okay, fine. You beat New Orleans.
But can I stop you for a second when you say they played bad teams? They're losing to bad teams now.
I get it, but that's my point. You're going to win some good teams against bad teams. You're going to lose. This is who they are. They just had a little bit of a hot streak at the right time. It had nothing to do with the IST. It's just at that moment they were a little bit better, and since then they've been a little bit worse. They're a 500 team.
So you don't think during that in-season tournament that they played more, that they played different than they have since then?
I do,
because I think they have played different. I think that they it was important to them to win that
I
thing.
agree with that. I agree it was important to them, but I don't think that the reason we are where we are right now through 39 games is because that they – I almost said something I shouldn't say. Because they expended too much energy too early in the season, that they decided to, blow through all their ammunition in December as opposed to save it for later in the season. Maybe in the moment, and to your point, Slee, maybe for a game or two after the hangover of the IST, thing was a month ago. Well, you know what I mean? It's like, what are we still talking about?
So they have a 16-game hangover.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I get it in the short term, but right now it's like, it's just crazy. It's just crazy to me. Like, well, maybe no, it's not. They need to get better. They need to play harder. This isn't an IST thing. This is you don't have enough horsepower, and because the two guys you do have that are awesome, they're doing their thing. The rest of these guys need to get going, and it's not IST related.
Well, I think something you just said there is probably it's probably talked about least. The guys that they depended on through that playoff run last year, D'Lo, Rui, Austin Reeves, Jared Vanderbilt, everybody has regressed. Everybody has. Maybe you could say Austin Reeves is still the same, but even him so far, and maybe. I mean, listen, in January, yesterday on the broadcast, TNT on the broadcast, and Reggie Miller kept pointing it out. He's like, Bradley Beal and Devin Booker, and I know these are prolific scorers, every time they saw Austin Reeves in front of them, they're like, yeah, we're going to go after him. We're going to go after him every single possession.
Reggie was talking about that last night on the telecast.
Exactly. So I think if the vision was we have enough, look what we did last year, we got to the Western Conference, all those guys are not the same players. Vando is a shell of himself. You want to say injuries, fine, but that doesn't, he's still playing games, and he's not the same player. Rui's been in and out of the lineup, and frankly, when he's been in the lineup, he's been the Rui he's been his whole career, not the playoff run. D'Lo, I don't need to get into. I think, a lot of people are assuming D'Lo's probably not going to be a Laker by the time we get to February 10th or 8th or whatever that date is. So it's a combination of a lot of things, but also just that their players are not producing, period.
Everybody but the top two. And everybody else needs to pick their game up, or they got to go get new guys. And I think both of those things are going to have to happen if they're going to go where they want to go, because this group doesn't feel like it has it at the moment, and it doesn't feel like they're going to find it anytime soon. We'll talk more about that coming up in a bit. And Slee, hey, no big deal. No big deal. We're just about to have two of the coldest NFL games in history, and one of them might have 60-mile-an-hour winds. Everything is fine. That's coming up next. It's Trav and Slee, 710 ESPN. Bud Light was brewed to be a delicious and easy-to-drink beer. They got it right, too. Even when the little things in life are hard, like when the game's going into overtime, you have more time to enjoy it and open up a fresh Bud Light. Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Pick up Bud Light at your local retailer today. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Hey, John Ireland here, and I'm at my local Ralph's in front of the BB Go display, and here's why. The Lakers and Ralph's are doing a sweepstakes, and you could win courtside seats to a Laker game. The question I get more than anything else is, how do I get in those courtside seats? This is how. You come to a local Ralph's, you spend at least $10 on BB Go. Then you take your receipt and you send it to this web address, lakers.com/BBGoSweeps. That's lakers.com/BBGoSweeps. It's the contest runs from now through February 6th. So all you gotta do is go to Ralph's, get some BB Go, and send in that receipt. Well, as long as I'm here. You can never have enough BB Go.
BB Go, the official game day snack of the Los Angeles Lakers.
Big news, Laker fans. John Ireland here. You can now stream every Lakers game on the ESPN LA app. Don't miss a second of the action with Michael Thompson and I on the call. Plus, all your live and local Lakers talk every day in the palm of your hand.
You're one tap away from everything Lakers.
You could even win Lakers tickets.
Download the ESPN LA app and bam!
Download the ESPN LA app at the App Store and Google Play.
The Genesis Invitational is coming here to Los Angeles. They're taking over Riviera from February 15th to the 18th, and you have a chance to win a spot in a dream foursome to play golf with me. Trust me, you're going to have a good time. I absolutely promise. That's coming up on January 22nd. Here's how you do it. You listen to our show. You're caller number 7. You win tickets, and you get a chance to be entered in that dream foursome. Riviera is the best spot in town. You want to be a part of that Genesis Invitational, genesisinvitational.com. Don't forget, listen to the Trav and Slee Show starting at 10 a.m. every single day. You're going to have fun, I promise. I like that guy talking about Matthew Stafford. He sounds like he knows what he's talking about.
Very
happy. Sounds
happy.
like he should have a Rams podcast. There's a lot in there that
sounds like
I find pretty
pre-
good.
and post potential to me.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Right. That Sunday night game is an interesting one because I'm looking forward to it all week long. Obviously, got a couple of games on Saturday, got a couple of games on Sunday morning, one on Sunday morning, one on Sunday afternoon. Like I'm going to be in a football just frenzy by the time we get to Sunday night because I'm obviously going to watch all the other things coming up to it. I can't wait for it.
And funny thing too, so the Emmys are gonna happen like right in our back door on Sunday. So they're at the Peacock Theater, formerly Microsoft Theater, and so we've been seeing them set up for it. And so while we're in the conference room watching the game, I might be looking over in the window and
Is
seeing
that something you might have some interest
Brian
in?
Cox and like I don't know Jeremy Strong walking by. It's very cool for me that I might be having two of my favorite things at one time.
I was going to say, nobody would be more excited to get a glimpse of that I can think of than you.
Yeah,
you
it's going to be very cool.
Yeah, it's going to be cool.
Yeah, what I'm most looking forward to, the award ceremony and everything else is when they move everything. They take everything down because, Trev, I have to walk an extra mile and a half just to get into crypto. Everything's closed off. It's closed off.
It's very
like,
true.
no, you can't
the
exit
plaza.
here. I'm like, I'm walking. Just can I go to crypto? Like, get back on the 110 walking.
You need an Uber to get back near.
I don't know where to go. It's closed off. Okay, well, can we just have an opening? Where's the opening?
It is a Bud Light Football Friday on 710. We're getting you ready for Super Wildcard Weekend. Do not miss Rams All Access. That's tonight at 7 with
and
the voice
it's going
of the
to
Rams.
re-air on Sunday morning as well. So we're going to re-air it tonight and Sunday morning.
There you go. Tonight and Sunday morning, JB Long, voice of the Rams, Super Bowl champ DeMarco Farr. And be sure this weekend, like me, crack open a Bud Light or two. Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Pick up Bud Light at your local convenience store today for Super Wildcard Weekend. Bud Light Football Friday all day long on 710 ESPN. You and I can be having a nice cold Bud Light, Slee, watching these things, but the folks in Kansas City and Buffalo are going to want hot chocolate or something. I don't know because it's going to be 900 degrees below zero in both those places.
Can you update everything here? Because I know, Em, you were trying to say what was happening in my mind can't process certain things. Like, it gets to 52 degrees here. I'm basically like, let's cancel everything. Why are we doing a show today? So tell us what's going on.
Yeah, so the Bills and Steelers game could potentially have wind gusts up to 65 miles per hour. Yeah, not 5 miles per hour, 65 mile per hour wind gusts. So who knows? Josh Allen cocks back for a throw, and then it just goes into the stands because of the wind gusts. And they could have almost a foot of snow. So it might be dangerous for people to travel in Buffalo. So there is actually kind of talks, some radio stations are talking about it, that Cleveland's stadium is being quote-unquote mobilized. So I don't know. I haven't heard the reports from Cleveland about this, but maybe that they could potentially move this game because it will be literally dangerous for people to attend and to play in the weather.
Let's talk about this for a second. The NFL has made it real clear they're going to play their games. If there's any way possible to play a game, they're going to play a game. Yeah. If it becomes to the point where it's dangerous for fans or players to get to a stadium, then maybe there's a change at that point. But I'd be really surprised if they don't play in Buffalo at the scheduled time that they're supposed to do it.
I would be shocked too.
Me too. Can I tell you, because I don't care about the Steelers or the Bills in the sense that I want them to go to the Super Bowl and I want that to be as fair of a game as possible, I kind of have a little bit of a curiosity in seeing what football played in 60-mile-an-hour wind looks like.
And a foot of snow.
Right. But we've seen some snowy games. We've seen some windy games. But both of those two things together, I mean, Josh Allen might have the strongest arm in the entire NFL. He's not throwing the ball through a 60-mile-an-hour wind. Nobody is.
Trav, you used to play. I know you did. Everybody played at some point wiffle ball, right?
Sure.
Where you can just tell if I start the pitch behind the batter, it's going to end up in the strike zone. Literally, that's what these guys would have to do. I don't think there's going to be a change that's made. I don't think the game will be played in Cleveland. I think there is curiosity just to kind of, well, what the hell does that look like? But I'm also going to be on my couch at home and not have to worry about any of it. So let's figure out
with
what they do.
With a space heater because it's 65 degrees here.
Tell me that this wouldn't be the most Steelers way to win a game ever. That it's just a damn blizzard.
It's going to be just running the ball.
They need that.
First 1 to 6 wins the game. And we're going to go out there and we're going to find a way. There's a turnover or whatever. And just one of the ugliest, worst football games ever involves the Steelers, and they're on the right side of it.
And I will take it. And then
right.
Sean McDermott gets fired for some reason because the Bills need someone.
Well, if they fired him because they want to go hire, Bill Belichick or Mike Vrabel, sure. But if they lose because it's blowing 65 miles an hour and you're holding that against him, that's a
get
bad
him out of there.
To do it.
It's more of a coin flip. But yeah, I think that, you're going to find it to be novel for one play, but then you're going to get tired because nothing is going to happen in this game because no one can do anything because we like offense. There's going to be no offense in this game. But it's not the only game that's going to have record colds. KC in Miami, it might be one of the coldest games on record in the NFL in KC this weekend, maybe potentially negative 29 with wind chill effect. But here's the thing for Mahomes and for Tua. Mahomes' record in games that are below freezing is incredibly good, and Tua's is incredibly bad.
No surprise.
So I think that this is going to turn out to be a secret weapon for KC.
Think about where Tua's played. Tua grew up in Hawaii. Mm-hmm. Tua played at Alabama, and Tua is on the Miami Dolphins. I mean, of course his record is bad in the cold. Right? I mean,
and it's all Mahomes really knows. I mean, at least in the NFL.
In the NFL, he's played in cold weather all along. And oh, by the way, the Dolphins aren't that good. Yeah. Tua's not that good. And it's that perfect combination of events. You're going to get a really weird result because of, in these two, either in both or one of them, the weather's going to determine how these games go.
How much money would it take for you guys to go to this game, to attend these games?
Okay, I haven't been to one like this. I'll tell you a quick story. I went to the NFC Championship game. I'm going to get the year wrong. 1996 or 7, something like that. It was Carolina Panthers at Lambeau Field against the Packers. It was the Kerry Collins Panthers against the Brett Favre Packers. And I was working for Rome, and we went back to do a tour stop and to go to the game. 97? Okay.
96 season, 97 was it when
there you go. So It had snowed all week leading up to this game. When the game started, it actually was a pretty nice day. Like the sun was out. It wasn't snowing or anything like that, but it had been snowing. The temperature in the air couldn't have been more than 10 or 15 degrees. It was freezing. And I grew up in LA. I lived in Phoenix. I've lived in Houston. I don't know how to do this stuff. They take the snow in the stadium that falls in, right? It's obviously not a dome. And they brush it off of the seats, but they don't shovel it out of where your feet are. So they give you a piece of cardboard where you try to like tamp down the snow and then put your feet on the cardboard so you don't have your feet buried in the snow the entire
Take
game.
your shoes off?
It was so miserable that you're bundled up. And by the way, I get it. I'm a Southern California. Everyone else was dressed exactly the same. Jackets and scarves and gloves and parkas. And everybody's got an extra layer on them that's, adding a 5-6 inches to both sides. And you couldn't even stand up or sit down without the entire aisle standing up or sitting down because you're wedged in like sardines in a can. And it's 20 degrees, 15 degrees, 10 degrees. Then it did get a little gray and snowy the later it went. I've never been more miserable in my life. I experienced it, and I'm glad I did it. It was terrible. I will never, ever seek that out again for the rest of my life.
So we're accustomed to going to sporting events where, it's the middle of the summer, or maybe it's September or something like that, and it's just you can't avoid the sun.
Mm-hmm.
It's freaking as hot as can possibly be. I know we don't experience humid, but we obviously experience the heat. The heat is there. At least I feel like I can kind of try to find a way to get away from the heat. At least I could try to find some shade. At least I could just say, you know what, let me just go use the restroom, go get some water. Let me just get away. How do you get away from the cold? How do you get away from that?
You go home.
You go home.
You say, I'm not going. That was the same time they kept the beers in the car with the engine running and the heat on so they wouldn't freeze. My entire life has been, how do I keep the beer cold? That day was, how do you keep the beer from freezing?
You know who's going to be there? Janice.
Is she really?
Yeah.
In which way?
She just landed
Buffalo
in KC.
or KC?
She's in KC because she's working with NBC Peacock, and so she's there to cover the game.
Yeah.
She posted a video on her Twitter of landing in KC, and it's just white.
And she's from like Whittier, right?
Yeah.
So again,
she's gonna have a great time.
Yeah, Whittier gets snow all the time.
That is so great that's where you explain. Yeah, she's from Whittier. Like it wasn't like you were maybe he's going to say Wisconsin. Whittier.
Yeah, it's hot in Whittier in the summer.
All right, so this is something that's maybe interesting. So this is from Tracy Ford, and he says that Cliff Kingsbury could be the next Washington football coach, head coach of Washington, the university.
No, I'm with you. Yeah. I just
process.
Look, if you care about, if you're a fan of the other teams in the Big Ten, if you're a Washington State fan, you should hope they hire Cliff Kingsbury.
Yes.
Right? I would love for somebody to tell me when Cliff Kingsbury's had success somewhere, right? He had Patrick Mahomes at Texas Tech, and it wasn't even that good. Okay, I mean, I get it. Handsome. He looks good. He's
Probably
in
good
shape.
in the interview.
Probably good in the interview. He looks like he should be a good football coach, but then you look at the teams that he's had, and they're mid at best. Good luck. Go Ducks. If you are an Oregon fan, Cliff Kingsbury in Seattle does not scare you all that much. Hot and Cold is coming up next. It's Travis Lee, 710 ESPN, and it is another chance for you to play golf with me at one of the most beautiful courses in the entire world. Of course, we're talking about Riviera. The Genesis Invitational is coming back to Roar in LA, which means it's time for the Dream Foursome on Monday, January 22nd at Riv. Caller number 7 at 877-710-ESPN wins 2 tickets to the Genesis Invitational. That, of course, is Tiger's tournament at Riviera, and you will qualify to play golf with me in the Dream Foursome at Riviera. You will have a great time, I promise. We will pick the winner next Tuesday during the Dream Foursome, thanks to the Genesis Invitational and 710 ESPN. Hot and Cold coming up next. It's Travis Lee, 710 ESPN. And when you pull up to Riviera, if you're lucky enough to win, you know what you're going to see? Silverado. A gleaming white Silverado. That's what I got going right now. And I got it at Rotolo Chevrolet. And if you're thinking about getting that new Chevy car or truck, if you've had your eye on one of those Silverados for a long time, get yourself out to Rotolo in Fontana. Right off the 210 freeway, Sierra Avenue exit. Tell him that Travis sent you. Mike Capozio is going to be out there. You see him dancing on TV, and he has made it his mission to make sure that you have the customer service experience of a lifetime. And they execute it every single day, week, month, and year. How do I know? Well, they've won Dealer of the Year 13 years in a row. I've been through the whole process myself, right? With Eddie and with Armando and with Frank and with Owen and with Jabari, right on down the line. Everybody you deal with at Rotolo Chevrolet is going to make you feel great about your purchase. Courteous, transparent, upfront, you feel good. That's what they do at Rotolo every single day. Rotolo, rotolochevy.com. Online if you can't get in, right off the 210 freeway, Sierra Avenue exit in Fontana. And when you go in, tell them that Travis sent you.
Coming up.
Well, let me tell you something, brother. This Monday at Yalava at the 909 Sports Bar, the greatest sports bar on the planet, it's Monday Night Football, the playoff edition, and we're giving away a ton of money. Oh, yeah, that's right.
And special thanks to Bud Light, making our NFL playoff parties happen. Whoop, whoop.
Big news, Laker fans. John Ireland here. You can now stream every Lakers game on the ESPN LA app. Don't miss a second of the action with Michael Thompson and I on the call. Plus, all your live and local Lakers talk every day in the palm of your hand.
You're one tap away from everything Lakers.
You could even win Lakers tickets.
Download the ESPN LA app. And bam!
Download the ESPN LA app at the App Store and Google Play. Hey, John Ireland here, and I'm at my local Ralph's in front of the BBGO display, and here's why. The Lakers and Ralph's are doing a sweepstakes, and you could win courtside seats to a Laker game. The question I get more than anything else is, how do I get in those courtside seats? This is how. You come to a local Ralph's, you spend at least $10 on BBGO. Then you take your receipt and you send it to this web address, lakers.com/BBGO sweeps. That's lakers.com/BBGO sweeps. It's the contest runs from now through February 6th. So all you gotta do is go to Ralph's, get some BBGO, and send in that receipt. Well, as long as I'm here. You can never have enough BBGO.
BBGO, the official game day snack of the Los Angeles Lakers.
At 12:30 p.m. Emma.
All right, so Emma Stone was at the Laker game last night. She was watching her favorite team, which is the Phoenix Suns, play. And as she was walking off of her courtside seat, she passed by the Suns bench and, waved, said hi, and then left the Crypto.com arena. And people are speculating that she was waving towards Grayson Allen. But you know who was right next to Grayson Allen? Devin Booker, someone she's already been seen talking to. So, guys, chill out. Nobody wants to talk to Grayson Allen. Therefore, it's not about Grayson Allen, okay?
And this could be your UVA showing right here. I know that you loathe Grayson Allen. Is that what we're talking about here?
I think a lot of people do, by the way.
Yeah, he's very unlikable.
But I don't know. Maybe it was Grayson. Trav, how do we know? How do we know in this scenario?
Look, I don't like saying this, but Emily's right. Grayson Allen is just he's got that thing that I'm not anti-Duke. I'm not a Carolina guy or UVA or any of those other ACC schools. It's just one of those, I don't like that guy. There's just, he's got a punch face.
He tripped.
He was dirty for a long time. Yeah, you're right.
No, and he's a Dookie.
Yeah.
Right? Dookies are hard to get together.
And then
with.
I can't remember who it was on the bench next to Grayson Allen. Was like, I don't know who that is, which is fine. You don't have to know who Emma Stone is.
That doesn't surprise me.
Also, Emma Stone sounds a little bit like me because she has very serious vocal fry, and so right now I have a little bit of like vocal fry going on.
And she's got kind of like a deeper register just to begin with.
Yeah. And
okay, so you said, Em, she's from Phoenix, right?
Yes.
So I was a little confused here because, and I don't know what her ties to San Diego is at all, but Trav, I mentioned this to you.
Yeah.
Out of nowhere, when the Padres were playing the Mets in that wild card and they beat them 2-1, Emma Stone was completely decked out in Padres gear. I'm like, is she from San Diego? Okay, so I never put the pieces together.
maybe she really loved one athlete when she was growing up in the Padres. Kind of like how DeAndre likes the Eagles, even though he has no physical ties to the city of Philadelphia himself. And then additionally, Emma Stone says that she applies to Jeopardy every summer, but she refuses to go on the celebrity version of Jeopardy because she wants to quote-unquote earn her stripes.
Okay, so I respect the flex and that she doesn't want to get the easy way out, right? But why not go on to Celebrity Jeopardy?
Dominate.
Dust everybody. Exactly, Slee. Go in there and blow the doors off the place and then make your case. Like, if Emma Stone went on Celebrity Jeopardy and said, listen, this is too easy for me. I want the real deal. They'd put her on in an instant, wouldn't they?
Of course they would. Yeah, of course they would.
Yeah.
You just got to earn your way in there.
Absolutely.
All right, so now it's time for Who's Cold?
And now time for What's Cold. How about the SMU Rush Talk?
All right, so let me explain this to you. So there are sides, quote unquote, of TikTok. You start watching a video and then you get a lot of things around something in the similar vein. So right now I have been on SMU Rush TikTok. So SMU is a university in Dallas, right, Trav?
Yeah,
in Dallas area. And so these girls are wealthy girls, and they will go in front of the camera, and they have, for those who didn't experience sorority recruitment, sorority rush, you kind of have outfits that you're supposed to wear each day, and you have suggestions. At SMU, they had to wear the SMU Panhellenic t-shirt. They give them t-shirts to everybody rushing. And then everything else, you can wear whatever you want. And it's typically like jeans, nice shoes, and jewelry. So these girls will go in front of the camera and say, so I got my Rush shirt, I got my Hermes bracelet, I got my Cartier watch, these earrings are from Marc Jacobs, whatever the heck it is. And so people have been going and calculating how expensive these outfits are. And these outfits are $19,000.
That's not an exaggeration.
That's not an exaggeration. One of the girls in the video was $19,000, and like the girl next to her also did her like OOTD and outfit of the day, and and it was only $1,000.
Oh, she's on a budget.
Exactly, it's insane. When I went through Rush, you had things you wanted to have, nice things. Specifically at UVA, it was this time of year too. You wanted to have a nice coat because you give the coat to the girl, and she could sometimes, certain sororities, looked at the label and made a decision about you based on the label of your coat. So
that
regardless, this is an insane side of TikTok that I'm on right now.
It's so different, Slee, for men and women, right? Not that men can't get into expensive things and clothes and jewelry and watches and things like that, but especially college men, guys, boys, like I want to play it as slow and as low key as possible. Like
you throw your couch into the ocean.
Or I wear flip flops, board shorts, and a hoodie every day for 5 years. This is what I do, and this is, if you want me in this, cool. If you don't, then you're an idiot. I should be. I'll go do whatever I want. This idea that I'm going to put together a $19,000 outfit, that's not a boy thing. That feels more like a girl thing.
It's funny because I think. I don't know if it's a phase or it's not a phase, whatever the case is, but sometimes, and I find it funny, Michelle will say, can you imagine that this was $300-something and I ended up paying $45 for it?
Poshmark.
We both got like a score right there, right?
Yeah.
Like you did it. Or hey, we joke around about you're going to Ross or TJ Maxx or you're going to Nordstrom Rack, whatever they're selling at the department store, you're getting it for a percentage of. Some people, they look at it differently, and they want you to know that watch is this brand. They want you to know that belt is that brand Doesn't do anything for me,
Right.
but we'd be lying if we didn't say
But
that.
when was the last
time
time you went up to someone and was like, "Oh, what kind of coat is that?" You feel me? Like you never ask.
So
unless
I
the
don't
brand
do
is
that.
there, you know
I
what I'm
don't
saying?
do that. But I think
And then-
people who are
She might
into
clock it.
Right.
You might
Yeah.
clock that. Okay, someone might be coming with nice shoes. Like Michael Funchess has great taste in
Right.
shoes. And you can say, oh, 6 shoes, but you
Right.
also know maybe how much money you spent on them.
I'll be honest. I think what you just said, Em, is right. Like, I clock expensive things. I never ask. But if you have a really nice watch on, I will notice it. And I couldn't tell you, like, to the dollar, but I could say, okay, that's a $200 watch. That's a $2,500 watch. Like, you can – those are things that – I kind of do know, and expensive men's shoes. Like I'm not a sneaker head guy, but like I can tell you, oh, that's a $200 pair of shoes from this. That's $800.
Are
Like
those
pop
Balances,
off.
bro?
Right.
See, the only sorry, Em, go ahead.
You go.
No, the only thing that gets my eye like that is a soccer jersey. Like I look at the name in the back. If it's just a blank, I'm like, okay, that's cool. But then I'm thinking, damn, is it authentic?
Right.
Yeah, if
Is
it's
it the
stitched in,
replica?
yeah.
I'm
Right.
like, yeah, and I want to look at the patch, but I'm not gonna go up to someone and be like, hey man, can you show me your patch real
Yeah,
quick?
well,
That's
you
just
got
weird.
like it's your lane, right? Like
Yeah.
Emily's talking about sorority rush at UVA. It's the coat. Like for watches and shoes
Yeah.
are things that I recognize. A jersey. Slee, do you have that thing that if you notice it, even if you don't ask, like, yeah, I know exactly what that is because I kind of want one of those.
I don't think there's some that stands out. I think that world of, like, if somebody has a really nice watch, I could tell it's a nice watch, but I got to be honest with you, I don't know what that price point is.
Yeah.
You know, I just don't. Or maybe it falls more to you could see certain cars. It's like, okay, I know that car is this or that car is that, but not as much the clothes.
Specifically for this one brand, it's called Golden Goose. It's these shoes. They come distressed. They come looking like they have been worn for years, and they are multiple hundreds of dollars shoes, and it's just like that stuff it's crazy to me. Another set of TikTok that I'm on. Do you guys know about the store called Sephora?
Yes, it's makeup, right?
Yeah.
It's a makeup store.
Yeah.
All right. So when I was growing up,
There
as
all the time.
Yes, as a kid in middle school, I would go to like Claire's. If I didn't have a ton of money, I go to Claire's, get my ears piercing and all that cute stuff. So that's what I used to do when I was a kid.
That's where I went.
These kids
I'm not lying.
right now, like 10, 11, 12, are taking over Sephora's and pillaging this one segment of the store, which is on skincare. And they have this skincare there called Drunk Elephant, which is so expensive. Okay, I have one thing from it, and it's lasted me a year and a half. Like that's because it's so expensive. And these kids will pick up like 3 or 4 of these things and like fight each other for these drunk elephants. Like when I go to Sephora now,
Makeup Fight Club.
it's full of 10-year-olds, and I'm like, why are 10-year-olds buying expensive skincare?
Because somebody, and I'm gonna sound like because somebody on TikTok said they should.
Exactly.
And
I know.
And that's why we're all doomed.
And then I have to fight these 10-year-olds to get my moisturizer.
That's why the weather is the weather in Buffalo.
Pretty much, that's right. Who's hot, who's cold? Brought to you by NextGen, the official AC, heat, and plumbing company of SoCal sports fans. Call 833-3-NEXGEN or visit nextgenairandplumbing.com. Can I ask a sorority recruitment question, Em?
Sure.
Were there theme days at UVA, like
Yes.
when you're going through, like today's Cowboy Day?
So for us, it's first day is you wear some sort of white. Second day is Philanthropy Day. Then you have House Sisterhood Day.
Yeah.
Yes.
What's the point of all that?
So that you have kind of like a theme of what you're talking about with these girls. So
Okay.
like they come to the house. So for house tour, for Philanthropy Day, we explain our philanthropy, what we're trying to do, and then when you're talking to these girls, you might ask them what their philanthropic efforts are in the community, what their goals are, and stuff like that. So it kind of gives a direction for the conversation instead of just like, oh my God, like who do you like?
That's a really good answer, and it's thoughtful, and it's what I would expect
And
from
I
you.
was part of the council in my sorority.
I
so.
believe you. So when my daughter is like, oh my God, those boots, they're so cool. What's that? Like, that doesn't sound philanthropic. That just sounds vapid.
It depends on the sorority that you are in. My sorority cared about our philanthropy. I cannot speak on your daughter's sorority.
And then
For those who don't know, Kelly does not sound like that. Okay?
And then she takes 47 pictures of herself.
And that does sound like every sorority.
Oh my goodness, Kelly, stop doing that. What? I've been watching. She's sitting on the couch. Stop it. Drives me.
At the right angle.
That's exactly what she says, Al. That's exactly. It's like, no, that one's not good. It's you've been in the living room.
Michelle says it to me all the time.
Oh, yeah, Pope. I got to get a 0.5. Got to get a 0.5.
Well, because 0.5 is the best version of way to do it.
Oh, the dump coming up next.
It's the one where they bring the lips, they pucker the lips. Like
the duck lips.
Hey, nobody does duck lips
Oh,
anymore,
stop.
guys. That's like back in the millennials.
No, it's coming back.
They do it ironically. They do it ironically. They do it at all.
It may be done ironically, but every time
it's
I
making
see
a resurgence.
it's everywhere. It's like Daffy Duck convention. They're all over the place.
Well said.
The dump. Thank you, Jorge. The dump is coming up next. It's Travis Slee, 710 ESPN. Slee, I am all over Prize Picks this weekend, as I always am, because it's just, well, in a word, it's fun. You can win money, and it's not complicated. Put the Prize Picks app on your phone and tell me what you think about this. Puka Nacua, more or less than 76.5 yards. Cooper Kupp, more or less than 99.5 yards. That's Prize Picks. Pick between 2 and 6 players, and you can win up to 25 times your money. It's that easy.
PrizePicks is the largest daily fantasy sports platform in North America. Like Trav said, just more than or less than 2 to 6 players, stat projections, and watch the winnings roll in. Something to keep in mind with the PrizePicks sports app, you could be making your picks right up to the fourth quarter. Join the 7 million PrizePicks fans today. This weekend is a great time to do it. You could pick some NBA games, Lakers and the Utah Jazz tomorrow. All the NFL games are obviously going to be there as well. Here's the best part. It takes about 60 seconds to submit your entry. Just go to prizepicks.com/710. Use that code 710 for a first deposit match of up to $100. Must be present in certain states. Visit prizepicks.com for restrictions.
Coming up today. All right, guys, it's officially back. Fifth Row Fridays presented by BBGO.
That's the official game day snack of the Lakers, by the way. And this is the best thing we give away. Fifth row seats to a Laker game. How many times do people come up to us and say, hey, give me Laker tickets?
Yes.
We don't have them. I don't even have them, but you can win them if you listen every day.
And these seats are better than the seats that you and Michael have, right?
15 rows better.
Yeah.
Michael and I are like row 20. So here's how you win. You listen every day to all the shows and take notes. If you can answer 5 questions about what happened on the show that day, you're eligible to win.
And don't forget, on Fridays, your chance to call in all 5 right answers, and you are in the fifth row at Crypto.com Arena for a Lakers game.
For free!
Well, let me tell you something, brother. This Monday at Yalava at the 909 Sports Bar, the greatest sports bar on the planet, it's Monday Night Football, the playoff edition. And we're giving away a ton of money. Oh, yeah, that's right.
And special thanks to Bud Light, making our NFL playoff parties happen. Whoop, whoop.
Big news, Laker fans. John Ireland here. You can now stream every Lakers game on the ESPN LA app. Don't miss a second of the action with Michael Thompson and I on the call. Plus, all your live and local Lakers talk every day in the palm of your hand.
You're one tap away from everything Lakers.
You could even win Lakers tickets.
Download the ESPN LA app and bam!
Download the ESPN LA app at the App Store and Google Play.
Yes, it's time for the dump.
You know what helps? Now, in my defense, I've only been working in radio for 30 years, so this is something that is new to the game. Turn the volume on your headphones up loud enough to actually hear what's going on.
Yeah.
I had it.
For the looky.
I did.
You look at me and I'm like,
you're looking at me like, what are you doing? I'm like, I don't know. What are you doing?
And I'm like, no, you're good.
What's the big deal, Slee? I'm looking around like, we're good, right? Like, I don't know.
Three more minutes.
Something?
We got 3 minutes till we're back.
I think you were shocked by the very first item on the dump, which is that Top Gun 3 is now in the works with Tom Cruise, Glenn Powell, and the director of Maverick will be back.
Gonna need to hear one more name.
She was not listed on there as of right now.
Brother.
She's not attached quite yet.
She'd make the cut.
Okay.
Yeah. But no budget.
There's no budget. Yep.
Look, if it's a budgetary issue, then reach out. I'll chip in 30.
It's a cause you believe in.
Yeah, exactly.
We can do a GoFundMe.
Yeah, I was thinking GoFundMe. That's exactly where I was at. It's like I couldn't think of the name of it. Here's Jennifer Connelly needs to be in Top Gun 3. Let me just get that out. It's going to be like holding in a sneeze. I need to say it. You can keep making Top Gun movies as long as Tom Cruise is in them because he's Maverick. He's the movies. You can swap out Goose. You can swap out Glenn Powell and all these other guys. But if Tom Cruise is there, I'm going to go see that movie.
Yeah, you got nothing if he's not there. Yep.
Right. And look, Penny Benjamin has been a part of the first two. She was mentioned in the first one, not shown, but mentioned. And then, of course, Jennifer Connelly's character in Maverick. Who says no, Slee?
Yeah, I'm surprised she wasn't, part of the beginning here.
Maybe.
Just right out the gate that she's on the movie.
Top Gun 3, starring Jennifer Connelly and Tom Cruise.
Top Gun Penny. Instead of Top Gun Maverick.
Yes.
The
Top
font
Gun
is
Penny.
just small for Tom Cruise. It barely even shows.
It's like with Tom Cruise, not like in the main
That's right,
building.
featuring Tom Cruise, right? It was today in 2024. Today, the Mean Girls movie musical comes out. You're waiting till Monday to see it end?
Yeah, I'm seeing it on Monday with my friends because they have off for Martin Luther King Jr. Day, and so we're going to go to see it there. I'm very excited. I'm going to wear pink. AMC is giving out Burn Book popcorn holders where you open up the cover and the popcorn's inside of it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm really excited. And have you guys seen these buses around L.A.?
You told me about them. I haven't seen them.
So I've seen these buses, and on the side of it, it says, "Look both ways, Regina." I think the marketing for it is pretty great.
Look, my Mean Girl credentials are well established. I like that movie. I think it's a funny movie. I think it's a good movie. This movie, I'll see it on a streamer. I'm not going to go to a theater.
But your girl Jenna.
But I'm in. I will definitely see it. But you tell me, am I wrong to feel like this could be something less than good?
Yeah, you're probably on that track. Also, if you went, I don't know, by yourself,
no, I get arrested.
It'd be a weird vibe in that theater.
Yeah, one for Mean Girls the musical.
Do you have kids, sir? No.
No, I'm here by myself.
Sir, we're not going to let you in.
You sure you're not seeing Iron Claw?
I'm telling you, you got two more rave reviews in my house. You sold that one pretty well.
So are you going to go see it or no?
Not a chance.
Okay.
Yeah,
It'll be on Paramount Plus.
When it shows up on a streamer, and yeah, I'll start it, and if it gets me, I'll finish it.
Oppenheimer, February 16th.
By the way, it will get you.
I don't doubt it.
Whenever you decide to watch it, I think you will like the movie.
You guys know me well enough. It's not that I wouldn't like it. I'm sure I would. It's the act of getting to a movie theater that is the barrier of entry for me. Because if I'm out, I'm going to get something to eat. I'm going to go
watch baseball.
I'm going to go watch baseball. Right? The movie theater is down the list of things. Fernando documentary is on. I used him in my Immaculate Grid this morning. Just telling you. First stop, always try to find a spot for Fernando. Today, January 12th, 2001, Slee, Downtown Disney opened to the public in Anaheim. Yeah, of course, California Adventure, Downtown Disney on what used to be the Disneyland parking lot. They built all that stuff out. Do you go down there a lot? Do you ever spend any time? We go to the parks pretty regularly, but Downtown Disney is kind of the thing you walk through to get into the parks.
You get the monorail from there, too.
Oh, yeah.
So you can
that's
park,
a good hack.
Walk, and then take the monorail. You're inside the park.
That corn dog that you like is in downtown Disney, right?
Corn dogs.
Where's that? Tell me more.
It's literally like where the monorail entrance is.
Yeah.
Lego store is there.
Yeah.
And there's like a little bunch of like kiosks, little stores, little carts.
And it's a corn dog
It's a corn
store?
dog cart.
Oh, a cart.
Yeah. So they have like 5 different flavors of corn dogs there.
Tell me the flavors again.
It's the original one.
In.
The other one's like
pickle
just
dog?
a pickle dog.
In.
And then you have the one that's super like crusty, like a hard crust
I
on
think
it.
I'm out on that.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
But they have like different flavors.
Slee? You
Yeah.
a corn dog man?
I haven't done corn dog in a long time. If there's a place to do it, that's got to be the spot, right? You got to do it there. You got to do it at a fair. It's like one of these places where this is what they're known for. Like, this is all they're doing, and they're freaking burning these things through. There's a line there. I would do it in under those circumstances.
Emily, I'm going to take a stab in the dark and say that you were a Lizzie McGuire person. Lizzie McGuire premiered on this day in 2001. You were a Lizzie McGuire kid?
Yeah, Lizzie McGuire burned itself into my memory. I feel like my first conscious thoughts
Which
were
actor
of Lizzie
played her?
McGuire. Hilary Duff.
Hilary Duff.
My first conscious thoughts of watching a television show was Lizzie McGuire. I love that. It had one of the scariest episodes as a kid too, and then it had a movie that did really well. It was released in theaters. Yeah, Lizzie McGuire. I dressed up as her for multiple Halloweens. Yeah, love Lizzie, and this is a big day for me. They tried to get Disney reboot on Disney Plus, didn't work out. But I would have watched
With Hilary Duff as like an adult Lizzie McGuire?
Yep. I would have watched it, but didn't happen. But I'm still holding out hope.
Ramona Shelburne, Momo in the house. Momo, were you a Lizzie McGuire person?
I feel like I know what that is, but I don't remember.
Disney Channel, Hilary Duff.
Nah.
Emily, you want to try to refresh her
Nah,
memory?
I think it
before
was
my
maybe
time.
not her
Okay.
generation.
Or after my time.
All right.
Yeah.
I know every episode.
What?
Which
No,
episode?
you don't.
Oh, yeah. Do you remember the one where...
I remember it, Mace. That's a
Lizzie
good
went to
one,
school
too.
and a boy was
Went to
mean to
school.
her.
Yeah.
She had to call her
Yep.
mom.
That's
And
a good bet.
He left
That's a
another
good
locker
bet.
room.
What do the
The
kids
locker.
watch? Like, what is the show that's on in your house way too much?
Well, I don't let the baby watch anything yet. I don't
Okay.
let Jacob watch.
Really? Why?
Okay.
Yeah,
Babies, you can
How old
just
is
stick a
the-
baby in front of the TV and let them watch stuff, don't
I
you?
know, it's really good for
With
their
a
brains.
Capri Sun and some Takis.
Oh, look at Trav.
We may have done that a little bit.
I think I overdid that with the oldest one because
Oh,
it was
yeah?
COVID. Like he was like 18 months when COVID hit, or maybe he was even younger than that. Like maybe like 17 months, and we were like, oh man, we just going Coco Melon all day, aren't we?
We
Right.
And so I just don't want to do that with Jacob because Danny's a little, I don't want to say addicted, but like he'll get the tablet in front of him, and you're like, Daniel, hello, and you put your hand up, and he's like, doesn't
So-
pay attention, and I just, you know.
When my kids were that age,
Yeah.
the tablet hadn't really become a thing yet.
Right.
So you had to actually put them in front of the real
Uh-huh.
TV. But when Susan and I, we needed 15 minutes to just eat something
Yeah.
without having to do it.
That's fine.
Turn that TV on, put on Elmo, and they were
I know.
in a trance. And it lasted about
Right.
15 minutes,
know.
and then they'd lose it, and we only did it
I
4
went
or
through a
5
Coco
times a
Melon
day.
stage, and it was like those songs are forever burned into my brain. Like,
Right.
catch the vegetables because they taste
The
incredible.
wheels on the bus
Yep.
go around.
Yeah.
Dude, come on.
It's like-
Also, the Bluey theme. The Bluey theme.
Bluey.
Yeah.
The Blues Clues you're talking
the
about?
Bluey.
Bluey.
Bluey. Oh, okay.
So I got invited to PAW Patrol in a couple weeks. It's out here at the
Oh.
Peacock Theater.
All right.
PAW
You're
Patrol
in for
live
sure,
show.
right?
Yeah.
I do not speak this language.
Paw Patrol,
Yeah.
Paw Patrol will be there on the double.
Yeah,
Paw
I need
Patrol,
brulettes
Paw
or
Patrol,
do
whenever
something to
you're
figure out
in
what you
trouble.
people are
Rosetta
talking about.
Stone for
Rosetta
Barney.
Stone, yeah.
Hey,
I know,
hey
it's pretty
Trav,
good.
Trav, aren't we the same exact way? You know, Ramona, you're saying that you give the kid an iPad, and they're just gone for 15, 20 minutes,
I
whatever
mean,
it is.
sometimes it is necessary, but
But I don't know about you guys. I can sit on my phone. I freaking forget I'm on there for
Oh, yeah.
15 minutes, and I'm just scrolling through nothing.
I know.
Yeah, no, it's background. Your
brain's on autopilot.
Last night I'm watching the Lakers game, and by the way, this is a crazy setup. So me and Ireland each got massage chairs for Christmas.
I heard about this.
yeah.
Okay? And so we bought him 2 for 1. He's had one for years. I've never had one. It's unreal. So listen, I'm living in this thing, and the great thing
Are
is,
you eating in it?
I'm eating
Of
it.
course he
There are
is. Of course he
speakers
is.
right by your head.
Oh, my God.
And you can Bluetooth the game.
Oh,
into
my
the
God.
speakers in your-
Wow.
So I'm like totally enveloped in the game. I
It's
feel
almost like
I'm
a
there.
home theater.
That sounds like almost too much.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
But for a game.
But
That game sucked though.
Oh yeah, it was
I
terrible.
like being able to
that game,
tune
I
out
went
a
to
little
that.
bit.
I went to that game.
Were you there?
Those are 4 hours of my life I will never
Yeah,
get back.
that was a-
That was
Yep.
a
that was
like
just
Slee.
friggin'
That was
awesome.
the worst I've been to all
They're
year.
behind by 17
Well,
points.
wait,
before
you
you
can't
settle
really
down.
you can't blame the crowd.
The crowd, the team, everybody. It was terrible.
Everything.
The guy was like, we all should have just stayed
and then
home.
the crowd.
It was. There was no energy in that
They
arena.
had nothing to
from the
cheer
tip.
for. There's nothing to cheer
Phoenix just, shot the lights out in the first quarter. It was,
Momo,
and
what
it was
about
over.
the electricity when they were up 7-6? Their only lead of
Palpable,
the game.
Mace.
No,
You could
nothing.
it was,
It was a
the
late
building
arrival.
was buzzing.
Oh, you can feel it.
Who's the one who would say late arriving crowd? Is that Chick Hearn or is that a Vince Scully?
Vince
thing?
Scully. I believe that was
It was
Scully.
a late arriving crowd because it was a 7 p.m. tip.
Yeah.
Which is a little earlier than I like the 7 p.m.s, but it's harder for people to get there in time.
Awful game.
Jorge, you know what we should do? Little super crosstalk.
ESPN AM 710 Los Angeles.
KRDC AM 1110 Pasadena, Los Angeles.
K256CX 99.1 FM Pasadena, Los Angeles.
It's the greatest segment in LA sports radio history.
Oh my God. When the shows come together for magic on the radio.
It will only grow stronger. Super Crosstalk.
Are we ready for Mason and Ireland to join Travis and Slee?
Super Crosstalk begins.
Super Crosstalk presented by In-N-Out Burger. In-N-Out. That's what a hamburger is all about.
It's time for Super Crosstalk.
So obviously Ramona in for John today. Mace, I got a question for you.
Yes.
And I'm going to take you out of the running.
Okay, I'm not included.
You are not included.
In this field, okay?
You are not included in this field. Today's Howard Stern's 70th birthday.
Oh, what a legend.
Is he the greatest radio personality ever?
Yes.
I think so, right?
Yeah, he is. He is.
Because I'm thinking of like Casey Kasem, Rick
Casey
Keys.
Kasem.
But are those personalities or are those just, hi, we're here on the Hot 100?
Casey Kasem, when he had the read about the dead dog.
How am I supposed to come out of an upbeat number?
You should find that. And
But
play that
there's
spot.
Rush Limbaugh. There
By
are
the way,
others.
Rush Limbaugh
for sure.
is soup. And
I know he's
politics aside.
He's an unbelievable
As a broadcaster, as an entertainer, I stole a lot from
We all
Rush
have.
Limbaugh. By the way, pounding the table, you know
Yeah.
where that came? That came from
That's a
Rush.
Rush.
That came
You know
from
who else
Rush.
is really good on the radio? Stephen A. Smith.
Oh, Stephen
Yeah.
A's great.
Yeah.
I
he's
mean,
great.
listen, I don't know how many times I've watched the latest podcast.
Oh, the Jason
The
Whitlock,
Whitlock one?
Oh my God.
The Whitlock
It's-
one is just.
It doesn't even matter what it's about. It's the delivery of every single line and the cadence and the passion and the fire and the parts where he just really goes for I can't say on air.
The
But it's-
speed he goes at.
Yeah, the rate and
Yep.
speed.
But also
yeah.
it takes forever to get to the points. But it also
But he builds
But
anticipation.
he builds. I mean, it is.
Yeah.
It is entertaining.
I'm always impressed when somebody is
Yeah.
a very
Hi, we're here on the Hot
a
100.
very clean broadcaster.
Yeah.
I call it word,
Word
perfect.
perfect.
I'm not a word perfect broadcaster. I'm just a
Excuse me?
yeah. I'm just like throw it
That's
all
not
out there
word
broadcaster.
salad.
That is not word perfect.
Word salad.
No, it's not word salad.
No, I'm word salad.
You can be a little word salad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you guys count podcasters as basically the
I think
same?
that's a separate category because
Yeah,
it's
I
a
agree.
relatively new media. It's different, because Howard, obviously highly intelligent, deeply interesting, deeply curious.
Yeah.
And I think that's what makes him so good. He's hilarious. He's outrageous.
Yeah.
Like he checked every single box.
Yep.
And he was unique, right? Before Howard, there have been Imus, for instance. There
Yeah,
were guys
John Imus.
before
Yep.
him that would say were shocking, but Howard was shocking and really funny and very likable and deeply, to me at least, deeply interesting.
Yeah, and by the way, has matured as a
Yes.
broadcaster. Is not the same guy at 70 that he was at 40, right? I'll tell you this is a true story. When I was on the air in New York, they have this thing called the New York Radio Awards, and they had a category for Best Morning Show. And I remember 3 of the nominees. One was Scott Shannon from
Shannon
PLJ
in the
in New
morning.
York. One was Imus, and one was Stern. I don't remember the 4th one, but the 5th one was Mason and Sue Kalinsky on
wow.
WRW
Really?
New York. I'm sure we barely squeaked in there.
Hey, you're
Yeah.
on there. It's an honor
but
to be
I'm there.
nominated.
I'm on there, and Stern, of course, won, and he should win every single year. But I that was like one of the greatest charges of my life.
You insane. Hi, we're here on the Hot 100. You really like that drop of me, huh?
Hey.
I thought it was a pretty good drop.
That's Hot 100.
Yeah, I was trying to come up with somebody that you could throw in there other than Howard, and I struck out.
No. Nobody is in that class, really.
Yeah. Trav, can you give your 2 minutes, because you promoted it, Today's the Day murder trial?
Oh, so OJ. It was today in 1995 that the OJ trial started.
Oh.
Right? And we're all
I feel like we had this on in our classrooms. I was in high school, I think.
We did.
Was it on in classrooms?
I think
Middle
so.
school was for me.
I mean, maybe it just feels like it was, but I feel like we were watching it.
When it started, I had not started my radio career, right? But it was in the working pool. By the time it ended, I had started to work for Jim. So I kind of transitioned. I remember, and I don't know if I've ever done this with anything other than a talk show or a game, listening to the trial on the radio drive, because I was in outside. I was selling copiers and fax machines for Canon Astro.
Okay,
he still does on the side.
And
right
you still have that? Saul Goodman.
Yeah,
he's still selling fax
top
machines.
3 right now
so
in
Saul
Los
Goodman.
Angeles County.
Door-to-door fax machine salesman.
Give me a
if
pitch.
you're interested, I got a guy.
I want to hear the
for
pitch.
sure.
Can I hear the pitch?
Well, it depends. Do you want to increase your productivity? Or are we looking for a little more streamlined office situation? I had a whole thing. It's been 30 years, so I don't remember it all that well.
I think you do.
But it's in there. I could get it out. It was covered like a sporting event.
Yes.
Like when they break for lunch. And here would come the expert. I remember listening to KNX. And what was the other? It's KFWB at the time. It's
KFWB, sure.
is gone now. But
KFWB.
Was there traffic on the ones? Is that their thing or whatever it was?
On the Simpsons.
Yeah.
News 980.
They bring in their legal experts and break down the morning part of the trial like you're
halftime show.
A halftime show.
Hi, we're here on the Hot 100.
And
you guys just
the judge
really
made this
Let's look at the stats.
It was like nothing I've ever experienced, and I don't think you could ever have something like that ever.
No.
again.
Do you remember
every night on the local news?
Where were
every
you
night.
The moment the verdict was announced?
We had just gone off the air. We had just gone off the air by like an hour, and then
what year was it? 97.
I'm bad at that game. That sounds right. Yeah.
Where were you when you heard the verdict?
I think I was in high school.
So was it in the class or no?
Probably. I don't remember the moment.
God, I remember exactly where I was living in an apartment in Playa del Rey, and I remember sitting on my bed staring at the TV, locked in as they were ready to announce it. And I could only think how many people in the world, or at least in this country, were watching that at that moment.
It's one of the last great moments of the monoculture where we were all doing the same thing at the same time.
What a great word. Did you make that up?
That I've heard that. Emily mentioned it earlier today.
That's a great word.
Because now everybody's fractured. They do their own thing. You listen to that podcast. You listen to a different one.
That just changed my life, that word.
I'm going to use it. I'm going to use monoculture this weekend, and it's going to be at the wrong time.
Don't
use
it.
I'm going to use it at the wrong time.
Use it during the pregame show tomorrow.
Yep.
Utah. But yeah, it was the Utah.
Utah
does have a monoculture.
Utah does have a monoculture. That's a very good point.
Yeah, thank you. You know what? That's my walk-off shot.
There you go.
You guys take it from here.
Excellent.
I got high school baseball to watch.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm gonna be like that on the back end of this show too.
Trav's out the door. So Slee, what's your take on the Rams Sunday night? Travis is leaving. I'm going to ask Slee what his take on the Rams.
Yeah, he's gone. So we had DeMarco come on.
Oh, good.
So your take's going to be pretty much DeMarco's
take.
Yeah. Okay.
No. It is, and the reason why I set up DeMarco, I think this is the last matchup that you want if you're the Lions. I think it's the matchup that you want if you're the Rams. And even though it's funny, Emily asked me, she's like, hey, are me and Travis being homers that we think the Rams are going to win? And I guess a lot of experts are picking the Lions. I don't feel that way. I don't have a dog in the fight. I love the Jared Goff underdog story and trying to, prove to others that he can make it happen. Yeah, I think the Lions, by no surprise do I think the Lions will win this game. And I think it's going to be close, and I wouldn't be shocked at all if they won.
So this is going to
here on the Hot 100.
So this is going to come as a surprise, but I am a homer.
You have no fear in this game.
I have no fear of this game. I just feel like this is the matchup that I wanted all along. I want to see Jared Goff with the entire world on his that really big chip on his shoulders, and see if he can overcome Sean McVey, overcome the guy he was traded for, Matthew Stafford. And you know what I say? Rams are going to rip their hearts out.
So I have a little confession to make about this. Okay. I am not a killer. Like I was thinking about Matthew Stafford on the way in.
Okay.
And we used to play teams, and I always, of course, I always wanted to win.
Right.
But I would identify with the other team too. Like I would empathize. There was a part of me.
In sports. There's no room for empathy.
I know. That's why I'm not a killer.
Yeah.
Like I'm just like we would play in the College World Series, and I knew that if we won, we were moving forward. If we lost, they would. If we lost, that we were out or whatever it was.
Right.
And I remember that finality of it was hard for me, but I almost was like, I felt bad for the other team when we would beat them.
Yeah.
Like
Interesting.
I even when we would eliminate them from, or we'd send them home, or during the regular season, it didn't matter. But when you get to the playoffs or the regionals or whatever it is, the World Series, there's a sort of finality to it. Like we move forward, you go home, and you have to have a selfishness about you. You have to have we want to win.
Yes.
And that means you're going to lose.
Correct.
And I sort of felt bad for my opponent sometimes. Like I remember we eliminated. This is crazy. We eliminated Cal, and I sort of felt bad for them because this one girl that I knew I was kind of friends with, she made an error in the game, and I was like, she's going to think about that her whole life.
You know what you are, Momo? Soft.
Or just a good person.
Yeah.
No, there's no room. You don't have to be soft in sports to be a good person.
But like if I'm Matthew Stafford right now, the reason I'm thinking about this is Matthew Stafford.
Okay.
So this man gave the best years of his career to the Lions and the organization.
Yes.
He finally left because they all kind of understood. You gave it everything you had. We couldn't put a team around you. We want to do this for you. Trade you to contender where you want to go. He goes on and wins a Super Bowl. Yeah. But now the team that couldn't win while he was there, like he knows how much this game means to the city of Detroit.
Sure.
And the Lions and everybody in that organization and that whole there has to be some mixed emotions for him that he's going to go on to that. Like he doesn't hate the Lions.
I'm sure it's emotional.
Yeah.
But I think he does want to rip their hearts out.
Yeah.
Well, Ramona, I thought you were setting that up for Goff. Like I thought what you were trying to say.
Setup, yeah.
Goff's easy.
But
Goff's
what I thought,
like, you traded me, you lost faith in me. I'm going to prove to you that it's wrong.
But what I meant by that is that you know how you were saying you show sympathy for the other side.
Yeah.
That's what I thought you were going to go to for Stafford. I mean, what's left to prove? You already got your Super Bowl.
It's
you
not
already
about
proved
proving.
that you
It's
can make it happen.
He just wants another one.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas for the Lions, like he knows how heavy this game is for that city. He's going back there. He's going to go into the stadium like he used to. He's
first home game since 1991.
Yeah. Like the whole city's into this.
Yeah.
Detroit loves the Lions. Like, do you know how long-suffering Lion fans are?
Yeah, I mean, there is sort of a Cinderella story built. Detroit doesn't get any of the nice things.
They didn't give up on Matthew Stafford. They set him free.
Right.
And now he's coming back to rip their hearts out.
I like that you said that. Rip their hearts out.
Mace, where are you watching the game?
I am watching just home in the massage chair with the speakers right by my ears.
No, you're a killer. You rip their hearts out.
Look, Lions were my backup team. When the Rams were 3-6, I thought to myself, okay, I'm going to root for the Lions.
Okay.
Now, I'm like, hell no. Rip their hearts out.
Okay, Lions beat the Rams. Are you going to still root for them?
Yes.
Okay.
He's got some heart in there.
Yeah. No, I mean, if Jared Goff wins this game, I'll be like, all right, Jared.
I mean, I always think I am a little soft.
You are soft.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hi, we're here on the Hot 100.
All right, Supercross.
Yeah, who's it brought to you by?
Supercross Talk is brought to you by In-N-Out Burger. In-N-Out Burger, that's what a hamburger is all about. Mason, Ramon.